What's up? What's up? It's a blessing to be back. It's Good Game Podcast with
T. Rice,
T. Good, and of course today we have a special guest with us, DP Damon Powell. It's good to have you, my brother, well known around the city. Tell us a little bit about yourself, brother, for those few who don't know.
Damon Powell, close friend of T. Good and Tony Rice. Just excited to be here. Get some stories out there.
Absolutely, man. Certainly doing some great things with the youth around the city. Has been for years. Has a couple businesses that he is a part of that are a part of making kids better, giving them opportunities where they would have none. So we'll get into the details of that later. And before we leave, he'll let you know how to get in touch with him if you have some youth that need some guidance and some help in reaching their goals, their sports-related goals. And I'm sure goals related to other things as well, but generally sports-related goals, basketball-related goals. But what's been up? T. Rice, what's up, baby?
You know, glad to be back. See what you got to talk about, you know, the different things here in this shoot-around. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of things has happened over the last couple weeks. Some businesses is opening again, which is a good thing. You don't like that? Think it's too soon?
I think it's soon. But I'm not mad at it. That's cool. But you know what? I have to be honest, man. I got spoiled by the empty roads, going to get my takeout, nobody being in there.
They back.
In force. I went to the store today. I had to stop by Walmart today. Packed, DP. Packed.
I mean, I kind of been seeing the stores packed the whole time. I ain't been seeing these empty rows and empty stores. Right? Yeah. I mean, you know, my wife been working the whole time during this little thing pandemic.
The pandemic, they call it.
Mm-hmm. And
DP said, mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like I ain't seen no ghost town or nothing. I've been seeing 1,000 kids in the grocery store. 1,000 people in the grocery store since it started.
Right. I understand. I've seen it, honestly, where I've been at and around, it's been a little more empty. The roads have been a little more favorable, especially heading out that Pickerington way back from the city. You know, it's packed always around 4:35. You can't hardly get down there. Yeah, and congested now is like I can get home like in 15 minutes. So I missed that, and I think that's about to leave. I think it's gone. Let them out,
as he was just stating, I think it's gone. A couple of places I done travel by going out north or out west. Oh my God, the traffic, and they driving crazy. Like, where they going?
They forgot how to drive, bro. That quick.
They're driving crazy.
Drivers. But listen, man, I just want to tell you, anybody that follows us, we appreciate you guys also for your support. We dropped the logo this past week and got a positive response on it. But if you follow us on Facebook, we had to get our other social media outlets
Twitter.
Up and running. Yeah, Twitter, Instagram. Trust us, we got some people working on that for us. It's going to be up and running and really functional soon. We old heads, so we ain't really on it like that. We got some people that's going to come and help us with it. But we know that Facebook, and we went to war this week. And I won't say much, but I'll just say, I hope you learned your lesson.
I definitely did learn my lesson. You know, I mean, it's some things that we discussed, and we're going to definitely dig into all that. I mean, but learning my lesson, no sir. No sir. It just seemed like no.
DP, is he hard headed?
Man,
has he always been this hard headed?
That with a lot of knowledge.
No.
DP finds his way away from them kind of debates. You don't like to talk who's the greatest debates. You don't like it.
People hate me now. You know, I'm a champion.
Right.
That's all. I'm rolling with the best.
I understand.
You win that year, you my teammate.
Period. I understand it. So listen, man, it's been a minute, man. So I'm excited about the first half. You got anything else to add in the shoot around before we take it to the first half?
You know, I'm just excited about getting to this first half. You know, the shoot around. It's what it is. You know, we just shooting around. I really want to dig into your little Michael Jordan thing during the shoot around, but we're gonna wait.
But listen, you
we're
feel free.
Gonna wait. No, we're definitely wait because it's the shoot around. You know
just be certain.
I don't want to shoot him. I don't want to shoot him down in the shoot around. You feel me? I'm just saying.
You've been around Keith Neal too long.
Shoot him down.
That was a Keith Neal. But listen, I'll let you ride out on that because you certainly don't want that kind of smoke in the shoot around. You know what I'm saying? This is just to warm you up, not to wear you out. But listen, I'm looking forward to the show.
I'm looking forward to it.
We have a wonderful guest, good man with us. and I'm very excited to have. And yes, for those who are wondering, we're going to talk about it all. We wouldn't have DP here, a legend on the hill, and Rice here, a legend on the hill. Their friendship was legendary. And as all of us do, we had some ups and downs and things change. But it's not always a negative thing. We're going to get into it. We look forward to the first half. We'll catch up with you in a moment. Yes, sir. Welcome to the first half. Good Game Podcast with T. Rice and T. Good and a special guest, Damon Powell. For the first half today, T. Rice, why don't you kind of give them a taste of what we're going to get into with the first half today?
For the first half, we're going to discuss the landscape of the AAU and the training business. We're going to go over that. And we're going to go back and forth and talk about the positives and negatives of why and why not. Why do parents and people just think it's a good idea to take your kid out into the, the suburban schools over the city league schools? Mm-hmm. So we're just going to discuss some of that and have you ask some questions on what you may want to know.
Sure.
And things like that. Ask Damon what he thinks about it. We can dive all in.
And DP, share with the audience for us your areas of expertise so they know what you're speaking from. Not necessarily qualifying yourself with credentials. We all know you qualify, but just kind of letting them know where your expertise lies, what you feel like you can speak intelligently on with anybody.
As far as basketball goes, I've been around a lot of knowledgeable basketball players all my life. As far as the relationship with T. Rice, I done played in a lot of top leagues with him and tournaments. We traveled all over the place. So as far as the foundation of basketball, I should have a lot to say about it.
Absolutely. And I think everybody that knows you knows that. And since you stopped playing yourself, your passion for basketball didn't end. You've been helping other young people achieve their goals and their dreams. Tell us a little bit about that. I train at Hope Fitness Academy, branching off into my own brand, Beast Mode Training. Okay. That's exciting.
Kind of specialize in footwork. I try and drill the kids on how to do a correct move to get to the basket with less dribbling.
That speaks for itself. And transitioning into your own piece, which is exciting. I'm excited to hear that, man. I know it'll do well and prosper and flourish.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about that.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? We're going to definitely believe that that's what's supposed to be done, man, because I believe in you and we know you following God. So we just going to pray for the best, bro, and believe it.
And speaking on that, Damon, since we might as well start with the training. You was saying that you like to focus on the footwork and explode into the hole with less dribbles. That's a great thing. It's a great thing because when I watch a lot of these training tapes and some people and just seeing a lot of training, they do a lot of dribbling, and I never understood that.
Some people do dribbling I thought it was for hand-eye coordination. If you're going to go to the cone and you dribble 5, 10, 15 times, only thing you're working on is when you get hit on the arm when you go into the cup that you can catch that dribble back again. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it could help for certain people, but I don't know. I don't get into that.
Absolutely.
I stick to get to the cup and less dribbles possible, put pressure on the defense. Guy help, you swing it. Team ball as well with footwork.
Right.
That's what I grew up watching. I feel like DP trains the way I grew up watching and appreciating the game. The Jordans, the Kobes, even the AIs. It wasn't that he couldn't have dribbled as much as Kyrie or as Steph, but
to give a lot of the credit to Tony Rice and Gary Trent, I was around some real good basketball players. When I first started training, it was with Rice. Rice was a lot of my inspiration in basketball, going to colleges, visit with him. So he's a lot of my beginning of training. And then over the years, I was able to, learn and do some things on my own.
Absolutely
Be creative. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's always a good thing, especially when it comes to just being able to score, put pressure on the defense, like you said. Because I think a lot of dribbling now is just for dribbling's sake. It's like to show off. Like you'll have a guy beat and bring him back alive to shake him again, to beat him again.
Yeah.
And I just never understood that. As fun as it is to watch sometimes, it's not effective basketball.
I'm so glad that you spoke on the piece of team. I don't think a lot of trainers, I don't see a lot of kids learning the move because it is a team sport. It is a team sport. So if you're training, you need to learn how to adapt and blend this move within the team. You know, it's only so many kids. There's a very, very small percentage of kids that are the LeBron James or the Kevin Durant's that's just out of this world. So, you know, you need to teach every kid to learn how to play team basketball. And by being the best team basketball player, I think that'll give a lot more kids more advantages instead of we're always training kids to be an offensive juggernaut, like dribble, dribble, dribble. You see what I'm saying? How you know when to kick it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
We play one-on-one. A one-on-one drill is three dribbles. Because you're really never, no time on the court, you should be dribbling over 3-4 times. You shouldn't, you know what I'm saying?
The special guys that have that gift won't need that training.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's the guys that are ancillary players who won't have a spot on the team without the proper training, you know, that you guys can provide, that may find himself like, I didn't make the team. Like, everybody's not that gifted. If you're that gifted, you're going to be on the team somewhere.
Right.
Like, but this the guys that are borderline. Like, you could actually make a team if you work.
Right.
But you have to know what to work on, and that's where you come in at.
Yeah, and then, you know, hard work, getting after it. You have to learn how to compete. You know, a lot of these young guys don't want to compete. They don't want to get in on the Instagrams and get exposed by a guy that ain't nobody. You know, that's been working in the basement by himself or been trying to come and get your spot. You know, some of these kids don't even want to chance it. So
Stay out the way.
Yeah.
The ones, it seems like now, more than ever, the ones with name stay out the way a little bit to play the other ones with name for some reason. Or someone who's under you. It's almost like, I'm not going to allow you to catch my son. When basketball is a pure sport. Today, somebody else may have your number. But that's where you get that grit. That's where you get that grit. Well, I got to come back, you know, the same, to give a piece to your guy, Michael Jordan. He was built off of some people smacking him around, which he gives it to his brother.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It wasn't always winning. So that's where he found that,
And
drive.
let's be honest, Mike is a competitor, so he's never going to keep it 100% real just because the losses he doesn't remember and want to speak on as much as his victories. And Worthy was gracious, but he was behind Worthy.
Right.
Good and behind Worthy.
Good and behind
So Worthy was like, I was better than him for like 2 weeks, but that's just being gracious.
Being gracious.
You know, he was better than Mike for longer than 2 weeks. Worthy was probably killing Mike. In practice. You know what I'm saying?
And that was a perfect situation for Mike.
Absolutely right.
You know, it goes back to the point, not to dive all the way into that, where the mother said that when he got cut, go work hard. And he never put the ball down. You know, nowadays, if you cut a kid or you tell a kid, you almost, it's transparent. You can't be real with kids nowadays.
Man, you cut a kid nowadays, they transfer him to another school. Right. And the coach telling them that, hey, listen, you get over here, you might be a starter.
And that starts with that AAU piece that we digging into, because it's 300 million AAU teams. So if the kid isn't happy here, he goes to another team, like overnight. He might be practicing with 2 or 3 teams while he on team 1.
Okay, so now that I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a great transition into getting to talk to you guys and your opinions about AAU. As a parent of a young man, he's probably not going to be serious about basketball, but I have a 3-year-old who's really athletic already, like crazy. How soon do you start? I'm not thinking about starting him anytime soon, but when do you start? How do you start? I don't know much about the AAU scene at all. Do you advise going to AAU? Do you advise skipping AAU and play only within the basketball season and organized games? How do you guys approach it? DP, I'll start with you. What is your advice to any parent out there who, like me, doesn't know much about it, but who may have a son that they see something special in and they don't know what to do from here?
Okay, I'm coach. I'm the All Ohio Red 4th grade coach. And this year was going to be the first year that I coached a team. And what I was preaching to the parents was not about travel. I'm not a big fan on let's go to Florida, let's go to Vegas, let's go to wherever else, Indiana, to go play some basketball against kids that you probably ain't going to see again. Never know. So I was more on trying to get them to stay around, play older kids, and learn team basketball. Let's learn how to play, and then if we want to go try and test our talent against some other older kids from a different state, then we could do it that way. But to try and just travel here, I don't think that's a good thing for kids at the young age. Like I said, I'm the 4th grade coach. So third, then you got to understand this. Every kid that play young is already going to be a year older. So 4th grade is, they say 9, but it's really 10.
Okay.
And if you have a 10-year-old it might be one on the team that's turned 11. Okay. So you almost got to just add them age factors in the, you know,
gotta bake that in.
Right.
Okay.
Going to go waste $1,200.
Okay.
For 3 games.
Right.
Because this 11-year-old, cold. You might think he the next LeBron. That's what everybody else is saying. Mm-hmm. But he bigger than everybody. He can dribble. He can make layups. He can miss and get his opportunities without even doing it the right way.
Okay, I understand. That's what are your thoughts on, like I said, a parent who may have a young man that he feels like, hey man, I think he can play, could be special, maybe go to college, get a scholarship. What would be your advice on the AAU scene?
I'm hot and cold with the AAU scene because personally, I really don't like what the AAU landscape looks like now. When he was just stating about the young men and being a little older, and he said not doing the right things because you might be a little bit older, but you can get it done right now. I think AAU at a young age gives young men and young kids a false outlook on what's to come. And not only them, it gives that to the parent, because if this third grader been the best in this circuit, it's just like kids. You know how everybody play the video games, and in your little group of video games, you might be the coldest one, but as soon as you step out of there,
it's out of your comfort zone.
Somebody else might smack you around. Like I thought I was. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. So when you step out of there, once the kid come out that bubble, the parent then blames that high school coach or the middle school. Oh, he don't know what he doing. He don't know. No. Now you're in a bubble now where you're not in the age group. You see what I'm saying? So you went all the way up to 9th grade playing against your age. Once you get in the 9th grade, everybody in high school, you playing against seniors. Yeah. So you may not look the same. Now, I don't think everybody goes through the process. The process is non and void now in AAU. It's not even a process anymore.
What you mean by that?
The process of getting better, like he just said. Me personally, I would like for my kid or the kids I'm dealing with to lose a little bit, to not seek out and get success while they're in the 3rd and 4th grade. I don't want, you know how you get all the touchdowns, I don't want mine to see that, because natural things with life comes with that, the relaxation, the fall back. Personal story with myself, that's how I know it. When I started varsity basketball as a freshman, I was one of the better players around. I relaxed, and just that little couple years allowed some people to catch me. I still was one of the better players around, but I didn't, I wasn't feeding. I wasn't hungry because of that little success. Everyone can say it all they want. With success comes them things of, that's why Jordan is your guy and Kobe's my guy, because I'm enamored by how Kobe could hit the success, how he hit the 81 and wasn't celebrating. Anybody else, they running down, checking their form out at 32. At 32. I'm on fire tonight. You know what I'm saying? So I just believe that, at the young age, it's the process of getting better and being, like he said, and I've seen Damon's passion ever since, when we was running together and he was playing with me, and I wanted to open up little different doors for him just so he could see that landscape of basketball because of his passion. You see what I'm saying? And what I mean by passion, he was one of those kids or one of them people that wasn't given all the opportunities, but I felt he was just as good as a guy that was out east, or, Yeah. So let me put him on a stage where he can get that, because everything in life where I train from is from confidence. So when if you can invest confidence and input confidence in people, the world is there. You can take off. Once you got the confidence to do whatever, to do the podcast, you're going to be a lot more stronger in what you're doing.
Yeah, a loss or two won't discourage you if you have the confidence. You'll just say, I had to get better or work on this or that. It won't crush you, make you feel like I need to quit.
It's part of the process.
Yeah,
you might need to be crushed.
Yeah,
right.
You get crushed.
You should get crushed.
Yeah, you should get crushed.
Because if you don't, then you're not, like you said, you're going to run into that bump in the road. By the time you get crushed, now you, like you said, you blame the ref. You blame the coach.
Oh my God!
I need to go play for this team. This team got better point. They got a better center. They got better shoes.
Oh, yeah, he ain't lying.
Actually, I've actually heard that. That's the sad thing. That was you weren't making that.
Skipping all the process.
Yeah.
Skipping all the process because you don't want to get hit in your mouth. What's wrong with kid? What's wrong with that guy? He's better than you right now. Mom, Dad, he's better than your son right now. Go work.
Well, let me ask you this: do you feel like, because I know a situation where, well, a few situations honestly where I felt like AAU in the off season wasn't what a particular person needed. They needed more individualized
Certain kids
skill
now.
set work.
It's some skilled kids at a young age. With having the trainers out here that's doing 1,000 dribblers, and you might go to a trainer that's teaching you something different. So you have some younger kids out here that's very skilled in their age group. All right. So then you get them out of town and you see some other kids that's just as skilled. Does that mean you're that skilled at your home now? So the kids kind of think that they're better than what they are. So they quit working as hard once they start getting a skill. Once you get your skill, your hard work should kind of double, so you can be one of the elite if you want to, have a chance to play in college or even on just the next level of school, like in middle school. A lot of kids that I train, they come to me and all they want to do is make the team. Well, I tell them from the beginning, my goals is for you to be the man on the team. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you fall in between, that's cool, but you just want to be on the bench. You don't want to come here.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's about passion. So now, let's transition that into how the AAU mentality has affected high school basketball. And it has parents and students and them teaming up together to decide which teams they want to play for. And some of these high schools actually recruit players, whether or not they want to admit it or whether or not they're supposed to. We know some of these programs recruit at the high school level. And so it ends up with a lot of kids who would be in a city league school playing for some of these suburban schools or even a prep school. Some people feel like it provides a better opportunity for the young man or the young woman. So they feel like it's wise to, hey, let's transfer out here to the suburbs. And it has worked for a lot of people. But there are also some people who feel like the city league is just as viable and has just as much opportunity to get you to that next level. Where do you guys land on that? Tony Rice, I'll start with you on this one. What are your thoughts on the suburban schools, so to speak, versus the city league schools and the kids that transfer from the city to the suburbs, or even vice versa? Some even come back to the city.
Well, let me touch on this piece first.
Okay.
I truly believe that our landscape of basketball, as Damon was stating, I've seen some great, talented young kids. Matter of fact, I pulled a young man to the side 2 years ago at an AAU tournament in Indiana, and I told this older man, he cool about my age. I said, he's like, man, they nice. It was like sixth graders, cold. I said, what goes wrong? What goes wrong from that transition to sixth to ninth? I think that the landscape of the basketball here in Columbus, Ohio, I don't know if you've seen the show that Kevin Durant done. You need to go check it out. It's
I haven't seen it.
Prince County, Prince George County.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people talking about that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh my gosh.
Where's it on Netflix or something?
Showtime.
Okay.
Showtime. It's on Showtime. Little documentary.
Okay.
And it's just talk about how many, all the athletes and the stars that came from that area. I didn't know Sugar Ray Leonard came from that area. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know that either.
Oh, everybody. I'm not even gonna dig into that. Here in Columbus, I think that, and it's sad to say, a lot of people live through these young youth. So they get grabbed. Their parents, how can I say it? They get the fast talking in the game instead of the real investment. I'm sick with it. Like when I used to go to the rec center, you got the Keith Neals, I had the Nate Mitchells, I had John Little, Frankie Patterson. I had people who were invested, and not just because I was good. You see what I'm saying? It was invested. It gave me good game, like the podcast. It gave me good game.
Sure.
Now a lot of these kids, to me, going into what you're saying, I don't think they give them good game. I think they lead them to a certain place. The kid make the decision that the kid is trapped, and then that adult, uncle, cousin, basketball leader, he gets out the way once you make the bad decision of what you've done. So going into what you're stating to talk about that, high school and suburbs. It's the same that me and Damon was talking, that they believe that you can get more offers. It's a better opportunity to go to the suburbs over the city. Mm-hmm. Me, and I'll ask Damon, we can go back and forth, I think that if you a dog, wherever he goes, he's going to get that all. I don't think the school makes the player.
Now, I agree with that as far as the school don't make the player. But now we have to use the bad schools, the worst schools, for that dog that go. Let's use Briggs. Not saying Briggs is a bad school. Let's say that dog to go to Briggs or that dog that go to Upper Arlington. Who do you think going to get more looks from colleges? Like, who's going to come to the school more? You think they're going to come to Briggs more than they're going to come to Upper Arlington? Are you saying that?
It's the dog you're talking about. It's the dog you're talking about. Because for a moment there, Northland High School had all the people coming to Northland High School over any suburban school because a Sullinger, a Trey Burke, they were at Northland High School. Seth Towns, they were at Northland High School. You see what I'm saying? What's my man, Jerome Hunter? He went from City Prep to, as soon as he said, okay, City Prep didn't go through, I'm gonna go over to Pick North. Then all the college scouts or whatever will come into their open gyms. So I believe that the college scouts are going to follow that dog. Now the kid that's in the middle of the road, they get food because I believe that you need to go to the best place that's good for you. Each individual kid, it's hard. People don't understand. It's hard to go D1 or something like that. You know, you got the young man out of Harvest Prep. He scored 2,300 points. He got the most. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's hard to go D1, and that's where they don't tell these kids and tell these people that real truth. You know what I mean? Well, you need to go here. Well, no. Because when Big Boy from Gahanna was playing, he had some point guards that played for him. Their scholarship or offer amount didn't grow because he was going to Michigan State. You see?
Well, see, that's something that I wouldn't know if it did or didn't. That's what, if you say that. But that to me is what I would think, that if they're there to see him, and if you're killing, say I came to see DP, and if you're killing, then I'm here already. Does me coming to see him help me see you? Like, hey man, I'll tell you what.
Sometimes they might come see you another game for sure. But let's use the team that he talked about, the dog Nick Ward, the guards. I think everybody on that team went to college.
No.
The guards?
No. So if you look at the guards, Justice, what's the one young man's name? It was a couple guards that went there. That what I'm saying is they didn't up their landscape. You know what I'm saying? So if I go into school, right? I always say this. I say it's a lot of kids, and they know this. People gonna laugh. I say a lot of kids come in because of the landscape. Come into high school, all Ohio Red kids. Mm-hmm. Leave out King of the Court kids. What you talking about? Come on, bro. What do you mean?
It's like that.
What? They came in highly touted, but they went to a school where they done sat 2 years because they went to the name of the school instead of going on in. I need mine. I need mine to get some hoop. Unless you know what I'm saying. Unless you sitting behind
a killer,
straight killer, not a. You know what I'm saying. I need mine. Mine pretty good. The best on hand
training. Would that even be a reason if there's a killer there to maybe go to
where
the city?
When he just well, I'm going to the city. Go. Let me lock up. My life wouldn't be the same if I didn't go to Briggs. I was handed the ball day one. So
but everybody's not you though, Rice. You would have been handed the ball a lot of places.
I don't know.
Rice would have been handed the ball anywhere he chose to
go.
So
it's not fair to necessarily.
We ain't about to play those
you're
games.
You're extraordinarily gifted. Your body type. All of those kind of things, bro, were in your favor. I don't know that you can be. We're talking about the guy under that. That's really who's going to be affected here.
Rice was one of the first guys to change the big man to be at the point.
Yes.
In high school.
No question about it. I remember. So what I'm saying is we're talking about the guys under you who aren't guaranteed that wherever I go, they come in to see me. What about the guys that are under them? Do they have a better opportunity by playing with a Tony Rice that since they're somebody coming to see you, maybe they'll see me? Whereas if our team is in the city league and there's no monster, there's no killer, is anybody coming to see us?
So they're not. That's what I'm trying to say to you. If you're not worthy of being seen, You're not going.
But you
That's
might
where
be
they- that's
worthy,
where
though,
they be
right?
fooled at. No, that's where they be fooled at. I had a young man.
Makes sense.
No. Okay, here we go.
I'm
An
just
example.
asking,
Here
I'm
go an
saying.
example.
I don't agree with that one. 'Cause
Okay,
you
here we
could
go. An
be-
example.
Let us know,
Here-
DP.
Here
Let
go.
me
Here go
talk.
an example. Okay, you got my man at Pickerington Central, peoples, and we got Don at Briggs. The levels of Pickerington Central done went to the state, then went there. You done been seen. You done got juggernauts coming out and everything. Being at Pickerington, to me, I believe that the young man I'm talking about, what you know, he get that offer at any school.
He would, but he. I see where you're going with this.
Speak on it, DP. Tell the truth, bro.
That's a great example right there. That's a great example. A great example.
Present the other side of
The
it,
kid he's
DP.
talking about is Tyleek Walker. Real good kid. 6'2" guard, long. Kind of didn't get into his zone until like mid-season this year. So really, he really didn't do much to be seen. And look, he's still got a full ride.
So you think that supports that more lands on your side of the board of it was beneficial to him to be there?
Yes, if he would have put those numbers up at another school,
No full ride.
no full ride. Let's say West. Let's say if he went to West, he gonna have more opportunity. The ball gonna be in his hands more. He was gonna get to shoot that baby when he wanted to.
Not West. Don't do West. Don't do West.
Wait a minute. Why not do West?
Because you send him to a bottom dweller.
Wait a minute,
But-
man. That's where I
but if he's
graduated
in-
from. We're not going to talk bad about
That's
West
not bad.
on here.
That's not bad. I'm just
We're
being
not.
honest.
That's a bottom dweller's not bad.
No,
we're not
it's
going
a
to talk
bottom-
bad about the West Side
No,
Cowboys.
what I'm saying is he's over there with nothing, bare nothing. That's all.
But
I'm
you
saying.
can't. But can you murder over there though? You can't murder. Over there?
That's what he said. The dog's
That's what
gonna
I thought.
come
The
and
dog
bring
going
him,
to
right?
shine
Like,
anywhere.
that
So let me
D2
ask you a
school was
question.
gonna
So let me
come
ask you
to
a
that
question.
bottom feeder because of the kid, right?
Right. So my
That's what
man
you
went. My
said.
man went to football. Right. He could have went D2 for basketball. Charles
Charles
West.
Holland.
And they didn't win. You see what I'm saying?
But, to Charles's defense, he was trying to get to Pick Central. If he'd have got to Pick Central his sophomore year, we wouldn't be talking about Tiffin.
See, I don't understand that. No, it's not.
You don't believe that?
No.
Oh, I think there's some validity to that. I mean, I think that's logical. You don't think that's logical? That if he could have got out there sophomore year to pick Central, the team they had?
You
And
talking
they
about in
won the
football?
state in football.
Oh, in football, you probably not.
He wasn't going to go to school for basketball anyway. Charles was, he was exceptional in football.
Right.
Yes.
6'2", 6'3", athletic. That's kind of like
Right.
the football dream. That's what we should be pushing a lot more kids that 6'3", athletic. They shouldn't even really be trying to play basketball D1 unless they come in and knock your door down.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
I think a lot of that is the what he was talking about, the investment, where you get that kind of honesty, where you could make money off of him training him for basketball, but like, bro, I really think your future's in football.
Right.
Like that's somebody that cares to be like, instead of taking your money and having you here where maybe you're okay, I'll send you where you're cold. I don't think that kind of thing happens enough.
I don't think that what we're told when you go to those schools in the suburbs, I don't think that they're thinking that they're going to the school and that's going to give them that much more an advantage, and it doesn't.
No, like that's where what you said comes in at. If you're cold enough, then it'll make a difference, because a lot of the guys, and we know guys that went and sat at those schools, graduated, and never got really any real burn. Like got sold a dream and came out there and were sitting. But I don't know that there aren't some guys, an equal amount of guys or maybe more, who got an opportunity and got a look they wouldn't have gotten if they weren't there. I think it's a good conversation. I don't think there's
Rice,
an
I
easy
gotta
answer.
ask you this, not to cut you off.
No,
I gotta
please,
ask you this. I
please.
gotta ask you this.
Please.
Let's use Mike Drennan, for instance. Went to Dublin. Probably had the most football offers in Central Ohio. Can you name several city cats that was better than him back in the day, or like even?
I don't know. See, the football landscape, you're taking me somewhere where I don't know the X's and O's and how they do that, and where you see what I'm saying, from the school and how they get you. I think that's a lot more hard. That's a lot harder to sell yourself because it's not as much skill in football. So you might be just as good as an athlete, like you just said, and go to that school, but you're not being seen. You go because it's not as a skill situation. You see what I'm saying? Let's go back to the Walker kid, what you just stated. When y'all just said, well, this year, if he was at West, well, if he was at West from his freshman year, he would have started from day one. Now you talk about a whole different 3-4 years. He didn't start from day one at Perryton. So you building up your equity a whole different way at West. You see what I'm saying? So I think that you may get that offer because you don't went from averaging maybe 14 your freshman year. Mm-hmm. You might go for 18 your sophomore year, 22. Now they talking about you. Now maybe a couple kids might come over there with you.
Hey, the kid that did that at West already was Charles Holland. Charles Holland averaged what, 20-something?
The last year he murdered.
Yeah,
but
and
the first couple
they didn't
years,
have no wins to back the murder.
Right. But what I'm saying is,
I don't think he was getting any looks basketball wise at all.
If you got the goods, they gonna find you in basketball.
And I agree. I definitely believe that. I agree with that. But then how does that support the city? No matter where you go, the city is just as good as going to the suburbs. If I'm not that good, I would want my son to have a higher opportunity to make it, right? If he's not that good, not the dog. The dog could go anywhere. The dog could say, "Hey, I go."
Yeah, that's where we
go to Highland if I want to.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
We want to come a tier down.
That one kid that's he's on the fence.
Could go and could get overlooked.
Could be JUCO, could be D1, could be 2.
That kid you talking about when he going into his freshman year, he won't play at them places.
He probably won't.
So that's what I'm saying.
But when he finally gets some burn, he'll be ready.
I see a lot more kids not being ready. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And I agree with you. I agree with the kids not being ready. Like Talik, for instance, when it was his turn, he wasn't ready. He wasn't used to that role, so he deferred the ball a lot. Okay. He was used to his role. He deferred it to give it to the scores or to run the offense for what they wanted. That was going on. So
right,
I do understand that, but
that's why you want to go to a school that it fits around your skill set. That's all. Because you got a better there's nothing better than marketing yourself than yourself. If you out here and you eating, you know what I'm saying, you balling. But if you sitting, you got to go through the fight of sitting with a kid that might be a little bit better than you.
I think I see what you're saying, and then after this, I'll give you guys an opportunity to give your final thoughts on the subject. But I think I see what you're saying. You're saying that you could start what is happening in the suburbs in the city.
Absolutely.
As opposed to just a star being like an anomaly, like, man, West has a star this year. Or Briggs has a star this year. Like, why not have a star every year? And the supporting cast that goes with it, where you'll get the look in the city that by being with a star that you would have gotten in the suburbs. And you know what I'm saying? If those guys, if the middle guys that we're talking about, the tear down from the excellent players that's just a beast that's just going, the Torrey Kershaw's, the Tony Rice's, the guys that are just going.
There's 3 kids.
The guy under, let me finish this point real quick. The guys under that, if they come to the city too with the killers, then the scouts got to come to the city and it'll begin a turnstile like the suburbs have, right?
What's going on, like you just said, it's no difference than the NBA. They told me the other day, they was dogging Chris Bosh, right? Mm-hmm. LeBron, he didn't do nothing, he sucked, he trashed. I said, well, Chris Bosh, they negotiated Chris Bosh to be paid the most. You don't do that if you did. If that was Boozer, they wouldn't have gave him half of that bread.
Right.
So they knew what. So this, if nothing else, LeBron knew this: that if I got Bosh with me, he can't go with Carmelo, or he can't go with nobody else. He's with me. So now I don't have to go against him. There's a lot of guys sitting on these teams that could be going back at these guys and getting that in game.
So are you thinking that that's the coaching? Is that coaching chess? Are the coaches getting up so that their star can shine? Like the guy that might give you work, have him over here sitting behind you?
Why not? That's how you good. If you got 3 or 4
have
guys.
you ever heard of that DP? That's deeper. Yeah, I mean, that's dirty. That's deeper than I thought.
It's 3 guys. It's 3 guys on Gahanna that could have started for Briggs this year.
That's dirty.
It does. It happens all the time. You kind of want to You want to build something for the next year, don't you?
You do.
You don't always want to just put your eggs in that basket for that 1 year and then hopefully.
No, you're right. But is it with an eye towards him having an empty landscape to go out here and just look like a killer because the next best guy is behind him? Do you think coaches do that, DP? I would hate to think that. Bro.
What you mean?
They
load up the cupboard. So now you got it.
Which is smart, what he's saying, but I'm hoping it's not for the, I guess it's semantics. But man, I would hope it's more for this reason than that reason.
Let's answer this one. Okay, you said the city over the suburbs, right?
Right.
What school is going to have the struggle on, let's say if you graduate 5 seniors?
Right.
Is it going to be harder for you to get that team built back up, or is it going to be harder for the suburbs?
If the coaches, it's going to be easier for the suburbs to build back up because they got feeders.
Not only feeders.
They got feeders.
They have a variety of number to pick from. So you got 900 boys over at Pick North.
You do.
So if you got 900, so that's my point.
You really do.
So if you got 900,
somebody's cold.
So if you got
somebody's cold.
So somebody's cold, right?
Yeah.
So you can't miss out on me. That's all I'm saying. There's no way. I understand what y'all saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I'm who I am today if I go to West. Sheet's not putting the ball in my hands the very first year.
Mm-hmm.
You got Monty Wade, you got Aaron Perkins, you got those are starters.
Yes.
John Sutton played JV. Me
Yes.
and John, I thought I was a little better, but we was
Beast
our
was
equals.
nasty.
We was our equals.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he didn't get the ball handed to him.
Right.
So that could have been a difference in where that's where we split.
Yeah.
Where Paul Pennell handed me the ball because we didn't have all them guys that West had. West was loaded, even though they decided to whatever. They was loaded.
That makes sense.
West was so loaded, right? Didn't the Dewey Rice beat West? How many years?
That's my point. I'm glad you saying. That's the point I'm making.
I'll let you make the point because it's you, but I wouldn't let nobody else make it.
Thank you.
Go ahead, my G.
That's the point I'm
You
making,
got it,
though.
my G. It's
That's
your
the
show.
point I'm making.
Go ahead and make the point.
If I had my grandmother raised me, so if I had a faddish mom, somebody who wants to be into the know and and make the decision, you know what I'm saying?
She might have had you at West.
She would have had me at West because her girlfriends and them would be like, "Don't go to Briggs. Don't nobody go to Briggs. Don't nobody go to Briggs."
He sound like he's speaking from experience.
He know it. Don't nobody.
I mean,
go
it
to
happens.
Briggs.
It happens. I'm one of the people that done that. Like,
You know what I'm saying? And Grandma said, "You going to school? Grandma, they old fat. You going? I don't care. I only knew one person when I went to Briggs. I knew Ed. I ain't know nobody else. So what I'm saying is,
Yeah, wow.
You got where I'm coming from? It changed the whole house, and I didn't know. So that's what I'm saying. Instead of sitting, hand me the ball so I can get that confidence. After that first year, it was
I
a
can
wrap.
see where it made a difference. You're right. You both make good points. And let's wrap up the first half with giving you each an opportunity to make your final points. Whatever points you want to make. DP, we'll start with you, brother. What thoughts on this subject do you want to leave the people with?
Well, not to get everybody confused thinking that I'm a suburb guy over a city guy. I'm a city guy all day. A lot of the kids I train is from Walnut Ridge.
Sure.
And I do promote a lot of people to go to the city to attack the books on what you want to become. It ain't what they're going to make you. It's what you make yourself. Mm-hmm. So to touch on the subject, I don't want to get everybody confused on.
That's a good point. I'm glad you did that because you're right. You're right. Some people might get confused. I'm glad you're clarifying it.
But I do just think there's more opportunity going to a suburb school over a city school.
Okay. I'll close it with, and I think that's where we all get lost in our hood, and that's why our hood has tore down. Because we believe the man has told us.
Don't do that, T. Rice, right here at the end of the segment. You gonna say we destroy the black race, brothers, killing brothers.
This is touchy. This is a good game.
It's a good game.
Hey.
I'm just saying.
You took
if
you should have hit us with that.
If we all leave,
so we can rebut.
If we all leave out the city because we think it's a better opportunity, what's left in the city?
I feel you. No, you're 100%
but we
right.
can, as a young man, to learn.
If you got spiritual angle,
if you ask a friend of ours, Chad Ivory, he didn't know until the end. He was like, my daughters were supposed to be in the city because what they don't tell you is this: you get more grants and more money coming through the city school than you do the suburban school. So that's not you see what I'm saying? And then what is it? You got to be top 50, the qualification. You got to be top 50 in your class. All right, you got to have a 2-point, a Q, depending where you at, and you got to have like a 17, 18 ACT. You got to get 2 of those out of 3, right? Where is it easier at? Now, you got to know your kid. You see what I'm saying? Maybe my son not Willie Huxtable. You feel me? I got to know my kid. If that's what it is, where is it easier for him to be top 50 in his class?
Well, yeah.
The object is the end game. The object is the end game, right?
Yeah. But I mean, that could open up a whole nother conversation that I'll let you leave on that point. Because that could, I mean, yeah, it's easy. You know, it's easier to be top 50 in the city. Absolutely. I would imagine it's easier. You're right.
Okay, let me leave you with this. If you have a family built on foundations on education, if your family foundation is built on education, right? And I'm in there, does it matter what school that kid goes to? They're going to probably get like a 3.5, wherever they go. If their foundation at home is built on education.
Yeah, but well, that's that open. I don't want to. Yeah, I think it matters. It could matter where they go, even if it's built on education at home. Absolutely, it could still matter.
It could still matter.
Absolutely, but that's a different discussion. I understand your point is well made, though. I do see your point, but it's just different. Absolutely. You know, they send the kids home with Chromebooks and stuff out there. It's just you get.
I'm in Groveport. I live in Groveport. All my kids. This is sad to say, but none of my kids has ever went to a city school except for Dwight. And honestly, to tell the truth, it's a major difference from the work aspect of it. You know, the work that they bring home. My son is in
Pick North right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's, you know, the resources.
Yes, it's
just the resources.
Absolutely.
The resources. But
absolutely.
but if he was in the city, my demands and my expectations would still be the same.
Right. Quick question before we go further. Quick question to you.
All right.
Me and you both go. Yeah. All right. Me and you both go to med school. We will both.
Only one of us would have went to med school.
Okay, whichever one that is.
It would have been
it's 200. It's 220.
I would have saw you in
it's 200. Yes, you would. It's 220. It's 200. It's 225 of us in the class, right?
How'd you get in it?
Take me out of it.
Okay,
Take me out of it.
Go ahead.
It's 225 in the class.
Okay.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. At the graduation, right? Let's use your a little goofy analogy. I'm coming out 224. I'm ranked 224 in the class, right?
Okay.
You rank 8 in the class, right? Of the 225. You rank 8, I'm 224. Okay. Once we walk across the stage and we get our paperwork, you're now called a what, and I'm now called a what?
Okay, but let me ask you this. Number one, how is this my analogy?
I'm just asking.
Did I miss something?
No.
This is what you cooked up. And then two,
I'm asking a question. Aren't we both doctors?
We're both doctors, but one's at Doctors West, and one is at, you know what I'm saying? One is going to be at St. Anne's.
Like you just said, we can go on and on for that.
We can go on and on. That's what I'm saying. There's different kind of doctors.
We can go on
Somebody
and on
will be working for the best. With the best opportunities, he'll get the first look, and the other guy will have to settle for what's left.
We're going
potentially.
We're going to close this. We're going to close this because, you know what I'm saying, my young man, he'll probably come down here and I'll let him discuss it because he went from a suburban school to a city school, and I'll have him discuss to you on the commercial break.
Okay.
Let's see if them ones are working at Dr. West, all the ones because they had the better opportunity. We'll let him discuss that because we don't see that.
You said one was 8th in the class and one was 224.
It's going back to what we were just saying, just the opportunity of they doing it different here, out there.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. And I think both of you guys made great points, man. I think it was a great first half. We're going to ease into the next segment. We'll catch up with you shortly. What's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the Minute Rice's Minute. He's going to break down some basketball for us in this segment as he does right about this time today. He's going to break down a question that I've heard people ask a lot, which is what is the real difference pertaining to basketball when it comes to man defense versus zone defense? So I'll leave it in your capable hands, Coach Rice, and get out the way.
I believe when you're young, you should be taught. The kids should be taught man defense. Mm-hmm. You know, your man defense should be your foundation. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to play a good sound, especially when teaching kids. You know, you can't. To me, I don't believe you could play a good zone without being a good man defender. That's all the same concepts and same rules apply between the two. So, me, I like to teach. I like to focus on man defense. Now, I'm not opposed to using zone. If we come up against a team as you get older in high school and middle school, you get older, and the team that you're going against can't shoot well, or even if the team that you're playing is out, you got a lot more talent than you. You may need to dice up the game a little bit. Use zone. It's all a tactic and strategies. People don't understand that. We have a lot of people that talk about that the high school kids and the kids need a shot clock. And I always say the shot clock for high school, I don't believe in it.
Okay.
Because of...
I know that's controversial, too.
It's very controversial. Some people do. But where it comes from is the team that got the dogs, they go zone. And zone is a tactic of stalling. People just don't know that. You see what I'm saying? Because normally if a team don't have a good zone offense, what they're going to do, they're going to throw the ball around a little bit too many times. They're not going to go inside and out. So if you got a good zone defense, trust that the offensive team is probably going, if they want to get a good look, they're probably going to keep the ball anywhere between 15 to 22 seconds. Mm-hmm. With the shot clock piece, just touching on that when I said that, is if you take that good team, all right, if they're not in zone, if you got a better team and you got a good man-to-man, then the other team, you can press the other team into mistakes. Now, again, I'm going to use the zone if I'm outnumbered or if the other team doesn't shoot well. And the basic 2-3 zones are good. You got different types of formations of the zone. You got the 2-3, you got the 1-3-1.
What are some of the techniques you teach? Because I think zone defense, pretty much everybody knows what a zone defense is, and there are the different types of zones and you play your part in it. When it comes to man defense, what are some of the techniques and principles you teach on man defense? Like how close do you want somebody to play their man? Okay. Do you want to leave space so they can't get picked or rubbed? Right. What are some of the techniques
I'll do the man for you and the zone, because the zone is also, you can do it different.
Okay.
So we'll go to the man. It depends on, this is where the coaching comes in and the film breaking down. It depends on who you guard in that week. Okay. So if he's not that well of a shooter, but he can handle, he quick, you want to give him a step. You want to give him a step, just go ahead and shadow him. Make sure you keep him from getting him in the lane, in the gaps. You know what I'm saying? In the gaps. You always tell your point guard, I've always told mine, you want paint touches. Anytime a point guard or a player can get in the middle of the lane, that messes your whole defense up. So I'm that way. Now, if you can shoot and you can't handle, then we won't probably get all up over you. You know what I'm saying? Learn a little trap, be a little bit more aggressive. And I want to steer you. I want to steer. If I'm doing a man-to-man, I want to steer them to the sides, to the baseline, to the sides. You just want to keep them out the middle of the man. In the zone, I got a thing, and I'm going to give a little bit of game here. And some people might steal it if they listen.
That's a good game.
It's a lot of sponges in the room.
I steal it if they listen. In my zone, and my guys used to always laugh at me, but they found out. A lot of coaches put their worst player in the middle of a zone. And I never knew that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want your best player in the middle of the zone because, what did I just tell you? The middle is the place where
it's the weakest.
It's the weakest.
It hurts you the most if
right.
you get penetration.
What we do is leave the middle alone.
Really?
In my zone, we leave the middle alone because you got a guy in the middle. The other coach probably got his best player up top. Going, you know what I'm saying? He ain't going to do nothing, especially if he can't shoot the three that well. He can mess around on top. He won. They're going to throw it to the 4-man. Normally, guys put their 4-man in the middle. Mm-hmm. What if the 4-man ain't got no mid-range? Because the kids don't got mid-range no more. They're all shooting threes. Mm-hmm. What if a kid ain't got no mid-range? We're giving it to him free. Shoot it. Shoot it all day. Shoot it all day. It's all yours.
We're giving it to him.
I'm taking you out. I'll ask my guys. I'll take you out if you dare.
Step to him and get aggressive with him.
Oh,
we want him to have that.
Have that. One time the game plan, I told one of my kids, if he listen, He remember I went crazy. The game plan all
You
week.
super animated on the sideline.
Oh, no.
If they haven't seen you, bro, you go nuts.
Listen, I really went nuts here all week. I think we was playing Walnut Ridge. The kid name was Pookie.
Damir.
Damir, there it is.
Pookie.
He don't want to shoot a jumper to save his life. I say in the middle, right? Tell my dude, leave the middle alone. Damir got to the middle area of the free throw line. My man stepped up just a little bit. Damir threw a pump fake. My man chewed it all up. Jumped in everything.
Got airborne?
Got airborne. Damir went and made a layup. I had to call timeout, cuss everybody out.
He said it. They had Damir in the middle. He was not going to shoot that baby for nothing. You know why they put him in the middle? To make the point guard play, not to shoot it.
See?
That's why they put him there.
That's why I come back.
Please leave him.
Leave him all alone.
And he ate off of it.
He bent the whole pump fake like he ain't hear what I said all week.
Yeah, the big guy start getting easy layups to Sellers. His cousin got some easy layups against Briggs because of that.
You know what I'm saying? But that's me. You know, the man to man is you want to have a great man to man. You want to teach you boys to buckle up and mano y mano and play good D. Like you said, Damon, when he came here, a lot of my teams that I took out of town, we had great D. Whether it was Damon Powell, Ron Kinley, you know, all my guys we had great. We prided on defense. Like if a cat gave you 10 or 12, you was gonna hear about it. Like you know
all night.
Yeah, come over
all
here.
Night.
You need a switch. Somebody need a switch with you.
You gonna hear that during the game too.
Let's go.
To make you play harder. You know.
You got him?
You need some help over there.
Good stuff.
Don't let one of them get a jade or something on him and the dude talking trash. Like, you gonna let him do that to you? What is he talking about?
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun playing defense.
I believe D. I know you definitely DP known around the city for his D.
Yeah.
We know DP was known for his D, but that's been a wonderful coaches segment, man. We appreciate the Minute Rice's Minute. And stick around. Halftime's coming up. We're gonna get into some conversation, a little more personal with DP and T Rice. Stay tuned. We appreciate you sticking around. This is the halftime, as we always do right about now, is where we take it off the court a little bit. We stop talking sports and we talk a little bit more personal issues. We've been getting a real strong response about our halftimes. And so, you know, for today, we had to keep it where it's always been. And there's no way that we could have DP in the room, T Rice in the room, and not address the elephant in the room, which is their relationship. And I know there's been all kinds of speculation and all kinds of questions. We're not here to address every nosy person's curiosity, but what we are is here to set some record straight and say a few things about brotherhood and how you maintain it through ups and downs and through just the transitions and changes of life. When paths go different ways, it's not always a negative thing, and we want to talk about it a little bit. So without any further ado, let's just get a little background. DP gave a little bit of background on y'all's relationship. T. Rice, from your perspective, give me a little bit of background on you guys' relationship. Just how it started and, you know, the affection you guys have for each other.
Let me give you a little bit of background, man. You know, as I told a lot of people, but a few people, only because I'm more of an introvert. Mm-hmm. People don't know that about me, but I'm more of an introvert than anything. So I like to stick to myself. I'm lay low. You know, DP was like a little brother to me. You know what I'm saying? It was family. We approached some things together in life. We grew together in some times in life that people weren't there, you know, and through the journey, you know, since I'm the introvert, I was able to make a name for myself through basketball that I didn't know. Like I try to tell people before, my very first varsity basketball game I ever played in, my very first varsity basketball game I ever went to. So when I'm in the 9th grade, as I say, Damon, my guys, I don't have any siblings. So it's almost like my guys was whoever I was rocking with was my brother. Mm-hmm. So Damon was right here with me, my right-hand man. Now the perception other people seen me after I played varsity basketball as, this is Tony Rice. You know, we'll go out to Eastland Mall and I'm getting a different vibe from people just based off of that. I don't even know the feat that I have accomplished by starting varsity. I don't know none of this. Right. But I always knew this was my guy. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? So And what you have, and I think truly, if you dig into this, what you have is people, because you just see how the world go. People infiltrated what we had to not understand. Okay, so to come in as a devil, you know what I'm saying, in your world and what you preach and the things you say, you understand these. Where I'm going with this, to divide them, would be to come in and split them.
Absolutely. It's always there's always the desire, the enemy, whether it's people or spiritual, whatever the case may be, always to come in and sow discord.
Absolutely. So I never got to tell my side was, you know, it was always, and every, you know, my man Keith is like my brother from college. He'll know this. It was always
Mayfield.
No,
yeah. Mayfield is what he calls himself, but it's Haley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows. You know what I'm saying? It was always these people was my man. It was a little man, but my guy.
Yeah.
But it was never, see, where people come in with the discord was like he was like a peon or something to me. He may not, maybe I didn't voice it. Maybe we were young enough. Maybe he didn't get that, me saying it to him, because I'm thinking that maybe my actions showed it. But it was never a me, him. It was a us. You got where I'm coming from?
Sure.
And it was never, see me, I'm different than a lot of people. You can't just tell me, you can't just say good things to me and you got me. You see what I'm saying? To come in like, oh, why you run with him? Because I got the same thing that maybe he got. Like, DP, your man, what's your man? Nigga, that's my nigga. You know, that's my guy. Like, you know, we that's my. Oh, he can't come. Well, we can't come. You got where I'm coming from, and it went like that for years. So it's always been a like I said, you know, a true investment of brotherhood. You know, with his older brother. We talked, and great spiritual guy, man, Mike Powell, to just get in my mind.
Mike Powell, Peasy. Yeah,
Peasy.
we can definitely say his name.
Yeah. Talk to me, get in my head.
Top barber.
You know, we've had issues, but man, just the talks that we have in the barbershop about life and understanding. We to be honest, me, him, and Dan, we understand where we come from. Like we seen it, the growth, the mindset. So it was always love from my way, you know what I'm saying, and through that, like you said, things happen. It's still and the brother, you know, Mike will always say, man, y'all need to get that right. You need to get that right, because one of y'all gonna have to go to the other man's funeral. Y'all better get it right. So,
DP.
Yeah, to touch on our relationship, started from when we was younger, and I did get a little feeling of people looked at me as the peon. They looked at me of you only around because of Rice. So, you know, going as you get older, you kind of want to step onto your own. So a lot of the stuff, what people don't know is I just was growing up. It wasn't that it was an ill will or, you know, I really didn't get to do a lot of things on my own or get credit for being the man that I became today. You know what I mean? I was always under somebody else's shadow, or I was always under his shadow, or, you know, if he did something, like even the New Beginnings, we started New Beginnings, great business, probably the best thing that could have happened for kids on the hilltop, but it was never able to flourish because of the outside hate, people want to divide it and say you're being used instead of being created, you know what I mean? So the touch on certain situations that a lot of people don't know, a lot of the confusion and frustration came from being locked up. Okay, when I was locked up, it was kind of by myself. Had a couple of people that checked on the family and all that, but it was more confusion on what this person said and what this person said. So I kind of jumped the gun and went into I need to grow up anyway. So I kind of wanted to get away from Rice a little bit. I wanted to become my own man. I wanted to, become a family man on my own. I wanted to do things on my own. I ain't always wanted to be under somebody's shadow. I ain't always wanted to be like, okay, you need this guy to be somebody. So
yeah. And I know what you mean, because I had that same issue with, my big homie Tory Kershaw. He took me everywhere. And I would be there on his name. And he didn't have to hear what I had to hear as a result sometimes. That you only hear because of the big homie.
Right.
And sometimes you felt like you deserve to be there in your own right in certain arenas. So I understand what you're saying.
And to touch more on it, always looked at him as a brother, family member. Wish we could have done things different. He's always been there for me. Like as far as him getting a job at Briggs, one of our goals was back in the day was to be able to coach our kids. I missed that goal by the frustration that we had at the times that it could have happened. So it's a lot of things that I could touch on that bother me, but I kind of boggled it in because that was what I thought was becoming a man. Instead of coming out and saying certain things to probably fix something that could have been done a long time ago. I was the Leo stubborn guy. I'm grown. I'm on my own. I don't need nobody. I got kids. I'm married. So it was more of trying to find my own identity.
That makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. And it's just a blessing to see you both in the same room. I know a lot of people have been hoping for this day. And I'll even go so far as to say praying for this day. Mike Powell being one of them. A lot of other people, a lot of us have just been praying for resolution and for the expression of the love that I think a lot of us still knew was still there. So if you had to advise others that are in your situation to take it away from you guys for a moment slightly, but using your experience, what would you advise brothers that find themselves in similar situations to y'all? How would y'all advise them to handle it different? T. Rice, I'll start with you. What would you have done different, or what would you advise somebody not to listen to or not to do, or what would you advise from your position in a relationship?
Me personally, and you should understand this. I'm not married, but this is a golden rule. I'm talking to some people who marry. It's a golden rule of marriages too. Well, I'm quite sure you don't want the outside chatter in y'all's business. It don't matter. You and your spouse handle it your business.
That's right.
I'll give the advice to those to never let outside people determine or sway what you may have with someone. You see what I'm saying? My basketball, if I don't jump the process of basketball, I don't think we ever have an issue, because I don't want to call the other groups the groupies or the other ones who wanted to run with me. See, I've always kept my circle small, so their contact to me was through Damon. So, but when I'm gone, like he just said, when they're together, they might try to play "All You With." I don't know if you know the Jay-Z song with Memphis Bleak, and the lyric goes something like, he hopped up out the coupe. All the boys was telling Memphis how Jigga was using him. He was wrong, and
I don't remember that one.
I came up.
It was all good just a week ago. That's
No,
the
not
song
just a
you're
week
talking
ago. It's him and Memphis Bleak. And I go on the intermission and let you hear anyway. Memphis Bleak was talking about how they were messing with him, but Jigga was fun on him, showing him the game. He better than everybody else. He's a little higher, but he, in the back of his mind, he was like, man, he might be trying to play me. Listening to the chatter. So I advise people to leave that out of that, man, because that's where I think we had a kind of, you see what I'm saying? Because mine was, whether in jail or whatever, like, I knew he had to come up and grow into his own. So when I came out of college, and even when my other buddy Bill, what I done, I do it with my son now, I step back. I don't get into grown folks' business. You see what I'm saying? What I mean by that is, and what I mean by that is judging them. You know what I mean? So if you decide you do that, that's cool. You're still my people. I may not do that. You see what I'm saying? So I allowed him to be him. You know, instead of, man, why are you doing that? Which back in the day I might have said, why are you doing that? What you doing that for? But I understand he's trying to be his own identity, which is cool. You see what I'm saying? But it should have never took away from what we had grew. You got where I'm coming from? Because it was always, see, with me, I didn't have the outlets. I didn't let everybody. It still ain't that way. You know what I'm saying? It's Keith DP. You know what I mean?
And after DP, I have a thought, but please give.
I could touch on what he's talking about. It was a point in time where I went from kind of like a young man to the man. Everybody looked up to me because of the money I had, the things I could do. I could go to the store, buy shoes when I wanted to. I'd buy you some shoes. We all three together, all three of us getting some shoes. You ain't even have to ask. That was just my heart. So when I was able to start doing these things for a lot of the friends, it started to turn to, why do you always do it for him? Like, him, you know, or why do you always do this? Or why do you always do that? Well, why do y'all got this? Or why do, you know, it was just a lot of bickering about money. I never really cared about money like that. So the things I done was off my heart. But then you start to get tricked, you know, when you're around this group of people more than you're around your dog. Like, you know, back in the day, you couldn't separate me and Rice. If you seen Rice at the movies, I was at the movies. If
No
you
doubt.
seen Rice getting some new clothes, he was getting me some new clothes. Yeah. A lot of people didn't see the inside relationship that we had. They didn't see the family that he brought me in from day one, which it caused confusion between him and my brother, my big brother, my real big brother, Mike Powell, Peasy. Yeah. So it was a lot of things that was going on mentally with me, just with myself, on getting this, you know, basically played into being my friend. Okay, so if I get you away from Rice, then
there it is.
All this extra money that, you know, y'all spending together, nigga, I'ma have it, you know. So there's you start to see a lot of things when you get older and you're by yourself and you got a family and bills is hard and, you know, you about to get kicked out and the same friends don't give a care. You know, they more like laughing at you. Ha, 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 you know. So what I would want to tell people is be more communicative. Like, say if I did have a certain issue that I didn't agree with him, I should have came to him as a man and put it on the table, because he's always been there for me as a brother. It wouldn't have been like something that I couldn't come and say to him what he couldn't tell me the truth about. If I felt like, okay, well, these cats over here feel like, you know, you using me or y'all use me. One of the situations was when I did go to jail, they won a tournament. They won a couple of tournaments, and the rumor was that he took everybody's money and gave it to me. Well, when somebody brought me that story, that's, you know, that's fuel to the fire. That's, hold on, I'm supposed to have how much money? Right. 6,000, 5,000, nigga, I got 200. So, right. You know, which was a lie to come. Once it came all out to the open, it was a lie. Rice was a real friend. Like, hey, look, we'll get all them niggas here, get them to my crib, or wherever we're gonna meet at. I'll front every one of these niggas out. If they want to fight, we step over here, line them up one by one. That was kind of like real strong to me, because he's always showed an independent, strong man. Always going to be ready, willing to stand on his 10 toes. So when that happened, I was even more confused. You know, I'm hanging with this group. I don't really get to see him as much. So I'm like, I'm just confused. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I should have just communicated more. I think now looking back, more communication on me growing up, instead of being the stubborn, everybody listening to me now, because, you know, I'm the breadwinner. So I could tell somebody, go get me some milk. They could call you 2-3 in the morning. My baby needs some milk. Shit like that was happening. So it's kind of hard to say, nah, these is my niggas. You know what I mean? Compared to this is my dog. So it was just a lot of confusion, and, you know.
Yeah, man. Well, I could definitely understand. I think that advice will really help some people. And I'll just offer this before we close the segment. In both of you's favor, I feel like transitions are hard in life. And me and Kershaw went through the same thing to an extent. Sometimes the nature of a relationship has to change. Like, you go from being little bro to being like, we both big bros. Like, we're equal siblings. And sometimes a little bit of space and absence is needed in order to make that next step. It's hard to do it together, because as long as we're together, I'll always be little bro. Mm-hmm. So I need to step away and grow up and come back, so you see me different, I see you different, and we can come together again. I wish it had been sooner. I wish that some things had been done, but it's here now. Absolutely. And the nature of the relationship has changed, but I think it could be better than ever, man.
I don't really think it's changed. I just think Bryce is, like you said, he's an introvert. So he's been more standoffish to himself. Mm-hmm. It's some things that I know that he talked to my brother that I know that I didn't know. I wish he would have, been more about sharing his feelings with me. Mm-hmm. And then it would probably would have made it a lot easier for me. But like you said, he's an introvert, so it was probably hard for him to reach out and, you know, say some things that he could say to somebody else that he know gonna get back to me. So
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So
Well, yeah, you know, I just, like he said, you know, I talked to Mike, you know, and I would listen to Mike. Just like, you know, you got to keep in what he went through. So I decided to do it different. So in my circle or media circle, or not even circle, I want to build people who can tell me what I'm doing wrong or if I'm out of the pocket. So maybe Mike Peasy tell me some stuff, you know, man, y'all crazy, man. I don't know GBG, and he played his position because we stubborn. But on that piece, you know, like yourself, there was all he promoted was positive, and that's where the guys which is I'm an introvert, I can't have people around me not pushing positive. See, that was the difference, and I understand. I'm glad he just said what he said, the confusion that he was going through, because I knew it. I don't know if he knows. Tuquay said it years ago. Tuquay was like a little young man I took under my thing. He said, man, the one thing I'm sad about is it probably ain't gonna never be right, because all them guys that had negative things to say about you, Damon done got with, so he's in too much pressure to come back from that. And Tuquay said that now, and it was dawned on me like, damn, that's deep. Being a young guy and understanding that. That has always happened to me, as he stated, me being an introvert. Like Julian goes through it now too. You think that's your dad? That's your dad. He goes through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And one day at the Marion Franklin game, I sat and I had to tell Danny the story about us and even Julian. And I said, Julian goes through it right now too, man. And I said, but I can't help that, right? I said, because this is why he go through it. I said, look down there on the floor. This is you know, the JV game playing. I said, look down there on the floor. I said, look down on the floor. He said, what I'm looking at? I said, look at Julian. He said, yeah. I said, you know he the youngest JV coach in the whole Central Ohio area? He said, for real? I said, that's all I could do for my people. You see what I'm saying? So those is trying to break in will tell Julian, he ain't your dad, you think that's your dad. And that's going to give him a dissension to not want to be around Rice. No, I don't have to be around you, be yourself. You don't have to run with me 24 hours a day. It's love here. You see what I'm saying? It's like you just said, it's love. We're that way now. You know what I'm saying? Brotherhood, we don't got to be hooked. Like he just said.
When we see each other, it's like never being gone.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true
or
brotherhood for sure.
like when you fight with your family, sometimes you fight with your family to get closer because you had to get that out the way. Like,
yes.
You have to earn a certain respect. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't the little brother no more. I'm going to punch you back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
When you got
necessary
family,
sometimes.
Family is hard to lose forever if it's real. And that's one thing I can say about our relationship. It wasn't fake. I wasn't Bryce's friend because I carried his shoes into the gym. You know what I mean? I wasn't his best homie because I did things for him. You know, it was real genuine love from the beginning until now. Like, even when we did come together and finally talk for years, I mean, you know, like you said, nobody thought it ever happened. I didn't think it happened, you know.
Yeah.
But it should have happened a long time ago.
It should have.
Even over the times that you coached and we had the battles of the Walnut Ridge and the Briggs games, that's kind of how they made it. Like, I'm a Ridge guy now. And,
right.
You know, I'm against all the West Side teams. And it's crazy. This is deep, man. This goes deep.
And you being the person you are,
it's deep.
it's not going to come out apologizing, putting on your T-shirt, I'm still a Hilltop guy, I'm still West Side. You like, if that's what y'all think what you want. Yeah. So it can make it seem like, oh, do you see the way he came up at it? But that's just you. Like, think what y'all want to think. I'm not going to come up and apologize like, hey, man, you know we all still cool. That's just not you.
I mean, we had a couple of talks, but they never got
I'm talking
real
about to the
serious.
audience at large,
Yeah, I mean,
the people that's saying it.
Right.
You ain't going to come apologize to us. Like, if that's what y'all think what you want.
Right.
That's real.
Yeah, but it goes deep. It's like he said, it goes deep. It's just as you said, it's living and learning. It's living and learning. Me being an introvert, I was able to get back and see. You got to remember.
But also, it could have contributed to the lack of communication also. So it's maybe something that maybe in the future, if somebody finds themselves that they're introverted,
right,
that you find a way to communicate.
That's what you said. Communication is the key.
That's it.
Communication is the key to all.
This has been exciting, man. I feel blessed to have been a part of it, man. And Listen, man, once y'all hug each other, we can intersect. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, for the people that didn't see us hug, we already did the
I
hugging
know
and
y'all
talking.
did. I know we ain't going to manufacture it. But we appreciate it, man. We hope you all enjoyed it. I know all of the West Siders and Hilltoppers and the East Siders, North Siders, South Siders loved it from the city we from, Columbus. It's been a long time coming, man. So we're going to see y'all in the second half.
Let's go. We're going to roll on into the second half in this game. You know, I'd like to know T. Good's thoughts on, the all everyday talked about Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls, The Last Dance. I want to know your thoughts on just, the ending of it, maybe the last episode or two, or just how you feel they're portraying Jordan, or just, your whole take on just what you feel about The Last Dance. I mean, I know you know a lot about Jordan. That's your guy. And so a lot of the stuff that probably in The Last Dance you probably knew. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people that really connoisseurs and not just the average fan, they already knew some of these things about Jordan. What's your thoughts?
I thought that it was really good. I thought it was exciting for me to think that, like my son, for instance, turned 15 May 8th. Never really got to see Jordan in his prime, of course. And really, probably didn't see much of Kobe in his prime. So it's like a couple players removed. And the Jordan that they do talk about in their show is the fadeaway Jordan, the second three-peat. Like, I wanted him to see the nappy head choker chain Jordan. Like the athlete jumped out the gym, the best athlete on the floor, maybe one of the best athletes ever. So that was exciting for me to think people that didn't get to see MJ in his prime, his athletic prime, would get to see that. Some of the other things I could have kept, the flu game. Now it's the pizza game. It wasn't the flu after all. And some people say it wasn't either one of those things, which you'll never get the truth. But I don't know. I guess what I can't get from it is anything negative. Like, Jordan is who he is. And I have to say this, though, just being the person that I am, I can't be that surface. Like, he's the coldest hooper to ever live to me, and it's not even close.
I'm glad you
in
said
my
to
opinion.
you.
Oh, well, only to me. Only to me.
Okay.
But excuse me, not
Sorry for
only to
interrupting
me.
you. Sorry for
but
interrupting
to me. Oh, you're not sorry. But man, I will say that it's sad to me a little bit that
You gonna say to me one more time?
you can have that little impact in other places off the basketball court with that much power, that much money, that much freedom, that much access to places, people. I love sports. Sports are great, man. But if the best thing you can say at the end of your life is that I was a great basketball player, I think your life, you didn't fulfill as much as you possibly could have. So to me, that's disappointing to see here, sitting all these years later, that really all he really was a great hooper. And when it comes to basketball, I'll always argue for him. But when you really see, like you felt like you were about to get a behind-the-scenes look at, what else he's done. Like, man, what kind of dad, what kind of husband, what has he done? Like, really isn't much there. Like, even the bitterness towards the other players still. Some of the other guys that he beat, that he got the best of, or that he didn't feel like he got the best of long enough. Like, Zeke fell off on purpose almost. Like, once he knew we were going to start beating him, he went out of his way to fall off. But that's just the way things happen. So, to me, it just made him seem small in some ways. But the hoop aspect of it, man, I love. But the one thing I can't take from it is this snitch thing. They acting like he told something that nobody knew. I'm like, come on, bro. They called him the traveling cocaine circus, man. He didn't call names. He said there's a lot that happened that I didn't see. But there was one night in the hotel room, there were a lot of guys, lines were here, women were here, this, that, and other. People like, oh, he's snitching. Did he say any names? Bruh, can I offer some advice to anybody that felt like he outed them? Can I say this? Hey, man, if your wife now, 20-something years later, asks, were you there? Say, no, baby, I wasn't there that night. Simple. What in the world, bro? He didn't call no names. But let me leave you some room because I know we've had a long show and it's been worth it. So we're going to keep the second half short. Let me leave room for my G to give his thoughts. Not that I'm not going to rebut, But go ahead and
You gonna give me a chance?
Give your ass.
Can I get a chance?
Can
I get a chance?
Give your point.
Can I get a chance?
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. Let me give a little bit.
Please.
Just a little bit.
Go
all right?
ahead, bro.
First of all, I'm gonna go for the good.
You don't have to tell me what you're gonna do. Just get it, baby.
Yes, sir. I didn't think that they portrayed him as a bad. The one thing I did like about it, like as you were stating, I liked how his kids, because a lot of things we never see his kids. The older group, how they came out, they spoke, and some things like that. From my point of view, it seemed like they got that love for their father, and it's there and he's there. I just think that, like you said, Michael Jordan, me understanding, and in the segment we had at halftime, understanding the word introvert and what that is. A lot of times people judge people and you don't even know what that person is going through in their mindset. So I think Michael Jordan is an introvert to a degree, and his prowess was basketball. So he's probably not going to let you in anywhere else other than basketball to see, as you see. You know what I'm saying? He keeps you away from what he wants you to see. That doesn't mean he's not a good father or he doesn't love his kids or that he hasn't tried to be. I think he's tried to be a better man than he used to be, per se. But the snitching piece, the reason I call it snitching, well, let's say I tease about the snitching is, though everything he stated about the guys and the different people, he never, okay, you could have told us that we all, I mean, you didn't tell me one time that you drank, you know what I'm saying? Did you like Hennessy? Did you like, did you like vodka? Like, you didn't tell me none of that, but I do know that, I do know Scott Burrell drink every night. You know what I'm saying? You didn't say that me and Scott Burrell, then you said he got a different woman every night. You didn't tell me what you know what I'm saying, Mike? Was you a single woman, only woman, husband, or did you have some action? You didn't tell me that. Just tell you, it's not snitching if you say, we was out here partying. But it just seemed like he left everybody else out there like they were partying. And when you just touched on a piece about their wives 20 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. We had this in another episode of ours, and this is just true, and it's different for different men. Okay, what's the TLC? The group TLC? Mm-hmm. Say T-Boz do a documentary, right? So in the documentary, boom, 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 she giving up everybody but herself. So in the documentary, she tells us that Chili used to be a little extra fast than she used to be. Chili's sitting there watching the documentary with her husband. Chili ain't told her husband about that rough year. You know what I'm saying? Chili done told her husband, we used to go to church. Now T-Boz out at Chili. That's all I'm saying. So Scott Burrell said that. He said I had to tell the wife.
Your analogies are so outlandish.
Did nobody ask you that? I'm talking.
I'm kind of offering.
But nobody asked you that.
Okay.
Did nobody ask you?
Right. That's so crazy, bro. You act like he just telling what everybody did, bro. That tied directly into why he was the player he was. What he was saying was, I walked in and they were doing all these things, and I decided right then I was going to dedicate myself to hoop. Kind of like when Kobe was called an outcast when he wouldn't go kick it with the Lakers.
Right.
I just decided then I'm not here for social.
I got you.
I'm gonna get in here. I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna hoop.
But that's not what I spoke
Now, at a different
on.
situation, he was in a police station snitching.
But that's not what I spoke on.
But that was after he came up, and I guess, you know what I'm saying, he
but that's
found
not
out a
what
little bit more what Shaq was doing.
I said Scott Burrell.
So he told the police what
Scott
he was
Burrell
doing.
wasn't on the team then. I was talking about when.
So do you have a problem with people snitching?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you have a problem with Kobe snitching?
I don't think he did.
Shall I play you the tape?
Since you making it about Kobe. Since you making it about Kobe.
Let me take you to YouTube. I gotta go tape.
I don't think that's snitching.
When he said,
I don't think that's
Shaq
snitching.
paid people, I should have paid people off like Shaq did.
I don't think that's snitching.
What is snitching?
Is that dry snitching?
I don't think that's dry snitching. Because the cop, you understand, we understand, the cop's not supposed to tell that.
You're
I'm
serious?
here with the cop. I'm here with the cop.
You're serious?
I'm here with the cop. I'm not lying to you. I'm here with the cop. I didn't go to national TV and tell everybody this.
You told the police.
What do you mean I told the police? In Denver? What does the police in Denver got to do with any of that?
I should have paid people off like Shaq did. And I'm in here in trouble.
He shouldn't have brought up.
Y'all be like, oh, Shaq does this?
He shouldn't have brought up Shaq's name.
Is there anything we should know?
He shouldn't have brought up Shaq's name. You should never bring up another man's name. But
in the police station especially. Please don't bring me up.
The police station. Why do y'all gas it? That's why they gas it up, bro. He said it right there.
You really like Kobe more than I
They caught him on the outside. He ain't say it in the station.
I can't hardly believe this, bro.
You see how they do it?
I'm in here for rape and I bring up Shaq's name.
Is that right?
Come on, bro.
He didn't say it in the police station. But if you say it,
Did he say Shaq raped the girl?
No, he said Shaq paid somebody off when he's in situations like
no,
this.
he didn't say that. This is exact
That's
words.
what you said,
This is
bro.
exact words they say.
Right, man. Listen,
he
we
said
disagree
that
on this,
Shaq.
bro.
He said that I should have paid. I guess I should have paid him off like Shaq do. That's what he said. But he didn't say it in the station. He said it at where they came out to him. When he got caught, when the man came out to him, he was like, "What's going on? I should have paid off. I guess I should have paid it like Shaq do." That's what I'm saying. So how was that? What I'm saying is you shouldn't bring another man's name up, but that's not snitching. You got what I'm saying?
DP, if I did that to you, I'd have to fight you the next time I saw you. That's snitching. Bro,
That ain't no snitching, man. That ain't no snitching.
that's snitching if there ever was snitching. But okay. Can I say this? So that wasn't snitching. But Jordan saying I went in the room and there was drinks in here, that's snitching.
But did you see
Jordan
that?
was snitching.
Did you see that?
But Kobe in the police
Did you see what he
snitching.
did? We
I'm
on our
outta
show.
here, bro.
We on our show right here. He wanted you. Did you just see how he? I
can't believe it.
Minimize that. He
I
said
can't believe it.
Jordan just said.
Didn't
Jordan,
say
he
any
said, He said
names.
Jordan just said
He
there's
didn't
drinks.
say any names.
Jordan just said there's
He
drinks.
didn't
in
say
here.
any names.
Did you watch it?
He didn't say any
I didn't get
names.
to watch
Oh,
it.
Jordan
well, he
didn't
got
say-
you there.
Jordan
he got
didn't
you.
say
He-
any
He said more than there's drinks in here.
No, I said Jordan didn't say any names. He said there was drinks here, lines here, women. I said it earlier, but he didn't say one name.
Why he spinning through that, bro?
Did
How
he say
how
one
did
name?
they know it was Scott Burrell then?
He's still bringing up something else. He didn't. Scott Burrell came in like years later. What was Scott Burrell had to do with that part?
No, you brought that part up. I went straight to Scott Burrell. He's right here.
Okay,
you
well,
brought
where
it-
did Scott Burrell come in at? That's
Scott
what I'm
Burrell?
asking.
Oh, Scott Burrell.
Scott Burrell wasn't on the team at that point.
I brought up Scott Burrell. The term was snitching, right? And I said, he asked me, I said, on the thing, I would have just liked Jordan to tell me something more about him. He told, this is what I got from Jordan about Scott. Now, I know Scott used to be with a woman every night. Now, I know Scott liked to drink a lot. I know all this now. I didn't know this about Scott until Jordan said it. All I'm saying is, Jordan didn't say that about Jordan. I didn't know. Scott said this, David. Scott asked him nicely. Scott said, come on, M. We being filmed. Don't do that. My mom and dad and my people's gonna see this. He said, Michael Jordan turned around, looked in the film like, Mom, Dad, your son's an alcoholic.
Jordan. He was clowning Scott Burrell. He called himself clowning Scott Burrell. He called himself clowning. But since we talk about wishing what people would said about themselves, I wish Kobe would have said in the police station more about himself. I wish he had told us who else he paid off and what else he did. All we heard was what Shaq did.
And it don't stop there.
Yeah, so let's stop
there. So we
there.
went to the cocaine thing. Now we with Scott Burrell. We can go to Horace Grant. I mean, they all say
Horace
it.
Grant, what? The dude that told the book?
No.
The tell-all book?
All I'm saying
On Jordan,
is,
bro?
like
You
Horace
can't
Grant,
go to Horace
Grant
Grant,
and
bro.
Robert Parrish both
Stop.
said
Robert
they took all
Parrish.
that. They
He
took
said
all that
Robert
out.
Parrish.
Yeah,
He
he
said
said
Robert
he was on the
Parrish.
team. They took all that out. They took all the stuff out of people. What the show told you was Jordan was the bully. You heard about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jordan only said this to those guys. Not one part of the show, not one part, dare you see somebody come back at Jordan.
Steve Kerr did.
You hear that? But Jordan, that's what I'm saying. That's not true.
But what does that have to do with anything? What does that got to do with Jordan snitching? That they cut out, edited out certain parts
Because
of stuff.
no. What I'm saying is the Last Dance is about you, and everything in the Last Dance is about Jordan being so good. Everybody else is about their negatives. That's all I'm saying.
That couldn't be farther from the truth, man. Rodman couldn't have got more love. Pippen couldn't have got more love.
More love?
It ain't Jordan's fault
So why
that they didn't
Pippen
want to
mad?
pay Pitt.
So why Pippen mad?
I don't know why Pippen's mad. Do you know Pippen's mad? Or you
yeah.
heard he's mad? He said he's mad?
It's in an article. I mean, he
It
ain't tell
was
me.
it quoted?
I ain't
No,
get
what
that
I'm saying is he
It was-
quoted.
it was
Is he
quoted.
quoted
He's
in the
quoted.
article?
He's
No,
quoted.
show me when we get done because
I'll
you did.
definitely
It's
do
not.
that. I'll definitely
You
do
show
that.
me.
I'll do it.
Show me.
I'll do it.
That's you
Okay.
wanting to say that.
So now we got to do the. No, it's not. The same thing you getting. All I'm
Bruh.
saying is, okay, we go with your thing then. Pippen's not mad then. If that makes you feel.
No, I don't know if he is or not.
Okay,
Like,
but
you
what if
always
he is?
like-
But what if
you
he
remember
is?
your-
But
let
what
me
if he
just say
is?
this
You said he was
before we
getting
shut
love.
this half down.
So he shouldn't be,
Do
right?
you remember your motto
He
of I
shouldn't
just
be.
stay on the court?
Right.
I don't go to all
I stay
that
on
off
the
the
court.
court stuff
Right.
because it could be,
I
could be
said
not.
that.
But you broke your rule for this.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Has
No,
he
I
talked
didn't.
about anything on the court yet?
No, I didn't.
You all in Jordan's business.
No, they broke the rule
Why
off
didn't
the
you
court.
tell
This
me
how-
more
this how
about
they-
it?
this how they
I
broke
wanted
the
to
rule.
hear more
This is
about
the
if
first-
Jordan drank.
This is the first how I
I
started
wanted to
teasing.
hear, did
This
you
how I
like
first
women,
started teasing
Jordan?
because he's off the court,
I
right?
want to know more.
Is that off the court?
Yeah.
Jordan ain't talking about Scott Burrell on the court. He talking about him drinking.
But
hold
we're
on.
not
This
talking
is
about
another
what
thing.
they did.
So this is
We're
another thing.
off the
So
court.
I'm asking. This is when we came off the court when they brought us the court. I was like, hey, baby, Why ain't Jordan have Isaiah on the squad?
You know why? Because it's Jordan. He wanted to go off the court for Jordan. If we talk about Kobe, right, or anything like that,
they said
he
Isaiah,
like, bro, man, I stay on the court. I don't know what none of these dudes do off the court. So it's convenient.
Isaiah didn't. It was off the court why he didn't get to play. That's what they told me. That's when I went off the court. They said Isaiah wasn't a good person.
Since when did we get so sentimental about? I could care less that Zeke didn't make the dream team. He cares.
I like him.
I don't.
Jordan do. Jordan
I could care less.
I do.
No, Magic wanted him off the team.
No, he didn't. Jordan did.
Magic did. Magic said itself.
It was Jordan.
It was Magic said itself, though.
Everybody knows.
You can't be.
No, Magic said
you're not gonna get the real, bro.
Magic said itself
not
that
gonna get
when
the
he
real.
was when he got AIDS and he was putting the rumor out that he was gay.
Oh my God.
He was like that he was bisexual. Magic was like, I didn't want to be around him.
Hey.
Period. You couldn't put that out on me either.
All he needed is a coin and just rock your head like that, trying to hypnotize you. It was Jordan, bro.
Bruh,
the game.
Why? You know it was.
Let's go on.
You wanted to be Jordan. Let's end this second
half.
half. Listen, we're never going to agree on this, but listen, next podcast, I promise, if I don't do anything else, I'm going to destroy Kobe's legacy on this next podcast. That's a promise. Stay tuned. Next podcast, don't miss it. We will destroy Kobe with a black dossier. I'm pulling it out. Black dossier for the Black Mamba. You got anything else to say before we end this segment?
Man, you know what? You're going to close down before I've destroyed Jordan right now. Close it down.
You don't have no ammo for that.
Absolutely.
You got anything else to add, DP?
I'm all right.
All right. Catch up with y'all in the closer section.
What's up? What's up? We heading in to the closer, where we going to close this podcast up. The good game. We're going to go into this good game. A lot of people are out here giving out their top 10s and top 5s. ESPN, the journalists, you know what I mean? You can just, if you work for Clutch Sports or them, you can be a journalist for ESPN and just say anything nowadays. Next thing you know, they're going to say Trae Young top 10, Curry top 10. But what we going to give you is the good game. Damon Powell's top 5. If he want to add a couple more, he can. T. Good's top 5. If he want to add a couple more, he can. And then we also give you my top 5 to top 8 players that I've ever seen play.
We don't want any more from you. Just 5 will do from you, sir.
Thank you. So let's, without further ado, Damon,
let our guest go first.
Let our guest go first and tell us his top 5 that he done seen do this.
My top 5 that I ever seen do it is my number 1 player is going to be Allen Iverson. My number 2 player is going to be LeBron James. My number 3 player.
Why your body break down like that? Go ahead.
Respected his 5. I ain't saying nothing. Don't point nothing out. Just let me be me.
My number 3 player is going to be Olajuwon. My number 4 player is going to be Patrick Ewing. And my 5th player is Kevin Garnett.
Earlier today, you said Larry Bird, he don't get no love?
I kind of switched
My man. To put LeBron in?
No, to put in Pat.
That's a good 5.
You don't leave his 5 alone.
Well, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Don't pick at his 5 because Larry didn't get in. You can put him in yours. Go ahead.
LeBron got it.
Patrick Ewing.
LeBron got it.
Patrick Ewing got it. Go ahead.
Patrick Ewing was one of my best favorite players.
Who?
Patrick Ewing. I was a Knicks fan.
Patrick Ewing was cold. I gotta be honest and say.
You said a Olajuwon too, right?
Yeah.
No, Olajuwon. Yeah. KG.
My 5.
Yeah, I was enjoying the aftermath of his 5.
You cut a couple people out real quick. Okay, my 5.
Okay, go ahead. Your 5, baby.
My 5. I'm gonna just go ahead and go with in no order. My top 5 is Kobe.
Did he just
Magic.
say in no order?
Kobe, Kobe was going to be.
Your 5 was in a row?
Yeah, it was in
Okay,
a row.
well, my bad. I apologize. You got me that time. So let's go in order. My 5.
Like we agreed.
Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bean Bryant, number 1. Number 2. Hold on, bro. Stop doing all that. You shivering? You need some help or something?
I'm chilling, bro. Go ahead and give your top 5. It sounds like you buying time.
I ain't buying.
You don't have your 5 yet.
You just practicing intermission.
We can stop the
you
segment.
You practicing intermission. Yours. All right.
Maybe it looked like you should have joined me.
Magic Johnson, number 2.
Okay, come on. Let's get it in order. For you confuse the people.
Michael Air Jordan, number 3. Kobe, Magic, Michael, Larry Bird, and Kevin Durant. And I'm going to end it with that. That's my top 5.
Do you want to do more? You said you might go to 8.
I can go up Shaq next, Kareem after that. And that's why I'm going to stop at the 7.
Okay.
I might want to switch out Ewing for Shaq.
Swap Ewing out.
Yeah.
We swap out Big Ewing. You first man off the bench. Okay, I appreciate it. All of those were good. Those were good. Both of you guys had some good ones. And with Shaq taking Patrick Ewing out of your top 5, that's an arguable top 5 now.
Absolutely.
Because Ewing, I was like Ewing, but Ewing.
Put in some work.
Shaq,
That was like one of my favorite players.
Ewing
though.
did some things.
I seen,
You just repping.
right.
Repping.
I'm going off of what I like and what I've seen.
Right.
And he was cold. Listen, he was nasty. He wasn't the reason that they didn't win no more than they were. Jordan was. But
Allen
not his
Iverson
fault.
was your guy?
Yeah, he was my favorite guy.
Cold, yeah, nasty.
Number 1.
Yeah, don't get enough credit as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, AI was nasty. My number 1 is Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Easy. It's not even close. And second behind him, I have Magic, the second best player all time. Number 3 on the list, as much as I hate to say it, Kobe Bean is
Is that the type of introduction my guy get? As much as you hate to say it,
Well, only reason is because of you, not because of him. Nothing he's done. Only because of you. I hate to say it because of you. Because I know I'll never live this down. Want to be like, oh, he was number 3 on your list, though. Right. Whatever. All right. I already know what's coming. And number 4 is real tough for me to get this number 4 in here, but I'm going to put my Dr. J. If you count his ABA titles, he has 3 championships and was the coldest wing, in my opinion, prior to my 5th on the list, which is Kevin Durant. And I think he has some championships yet to come and some great things yet to come, despite that Achilles surgery that he had that I know so well. Me and your brother Peasy, right around the same exact time, we popped our Achilles. And it's hard to ever be the same. But surgery has changed since we had ours. I think he'll come back and still be the best player in the league. That's my top 5. If I had to go another 1 or 2 down, I might be able to shoehorn Larry in at 6, 7. Shaq always has to be mentioned. Kareem always has to be mentioned. Olajuwon, when you said Olajuwon has to be mentioned, I got to get Iverson in my top 10 just because. Got to.
You got Iverson over LeBron?
It's not even close. That ain't even a discussion. Yeah, easy. Give me if they were standing right there, I'd be like, give me come on.
You
Iverson.
pick it immediately?
Give me Iverson.
Y'all gotta be some
nothing to
LeBron
discuss.
haters in here. Like you ain't had LeBron in your top 5 either. Like, sheesh.
Listen, I could go to 10 and LeBron won't get in. I can't. It would be hard to get 15.
What if you was
LeBron
adding the
in.
off court too? Since Rice don't do the off court thing.
I don't do the. He does.
Oh,
Negative anyway. He don't give LeBron no credit for it, but he'll take credit away from you for it off the court. Obviously, we saw that. But if you took off the court into it and put that into account, LeBron has more cameras following him than anybody when he does good.
I like that. Because that ain't lying. Ain't that the truth?
He does a lot of good, bro. LeBron does a whole bunch of good, bro. He
With
seemed
all
like a
the
good
cameras.
dude. He seemed like out of all these dudes, he might be the best friend to have if he was your homie. He might be the best friend out of all of them. That it might not pay your dividends to be Jordan's friend, but it'll pay you dividends
Larry
to be
Bird
LeBron's
said
friend.
that, didn't he? Larry Bird said if I want to have fun, I'm going to play with LeBron.
Yeah,
But I want to win, though.
win, so give me Kobe.
Yeah, I don't think you know.
But I'm talking about off the court. I'm being serious now because they might think we're playing. You got to give LeBron some love.
He does.
He does a lot of good things. He seems like a great guy off the court. Like I said, he'll speak up for what he believes in up to a certain point. He didn't speak up for China, for the people who fight for freedom in China, because Nike and the NBA said hush on that, and he said okay because his bread was at stake. So he's human. But like I said, also look what he did for his friends, man. He had him come shadow an agent. Let the agent know up front. He's going to watch you for 1 or 2 years, and then he's going to take your spot. So train him. And as soon as he was ready, that's your job now. He did stuff I would love to have been his friend. And they could say what they wanted. Because, he's putting you he's not only keeping you in a position where you're with him, he's empowering you to go and do, listen, you go do your thing, and I'm co-signing everything you do. I'm writing the checks until you can write your own check. And also, he seems like he's a great man. I can't speak to, people want to say, a great husband. I can't say that. He could be cheating every night. I don't know what he's doing. I hope he's not, but that's none of my business.
Right.
But like the stuff we see, you got to give him some love.
The 9 finals don't mean nothing to neither one of y'all.
No, I don't count getting
If
close.
you want me to,
Not me.
let me touch on real quick, man, because that's heavy. It weighs heavy on me when him included, when we get the hater tag. LeBron just doesn't do it for me. I just don't like that. I just don't. It's just I don't really watch. What's the letters for the wrestling now?
WWE.
I don't really like the WWE. It seems like the NBA and WWE, LeBron's whole brand, and that's what makes me upset. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but we changed the whole landscape on what winning was about to the greats. All the greats. What's the difference between LeBron and Karl Malone? All the greats got stats. All the greats got money. All the greats. When you in that, you got all-stars. The list go on. So if they're both sitting in the barbershop, we got to go somewhere where you can't go. So if Michael Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron all sitting in the barbershop, and then Larry Bird walk in, LeBron gonna kind of get a little. LeBron ain't gonna talk as fly with that group. Now if he's in there with Charles Barkley, Iverson, Marbury, LeBron gonna stick his chest out. But with the other group, we all got bread.
Because you're talking about the rings, right? How many rings he got compared to their rings?
Yeah, but
and how he got his rings
right.
too, in my opinion. I feel like he manufactured his rings as much as anybody, and for some reason we talk about KD, but we don't talk about him. Like, you didn't stay in Cleveland because you felt like, hey man, I need more help.
But look, if he was, like being a great, we all know he's a great, but
yes,
to win a championship, right? You need team. He brought the basketball team aspect into it. Like, I could be great and still feed the ball to my teammates because I need them.
But is he really that much of a feeder? Like, there hasn't been one team that he hasn't shot the most shots of anybody on the team. Then, like, I don't.
That's making him taking his greatness. He's great. He got to take the most shots, right?
No,
yeah, but DP, this is what I'm saying.
No, he's not the best
to an extent, but this is what I'm saying. Then let's not call him unselfish, because you equal as many shots as Kevin Durant for your career per game.
He shoots more per game.
So how are you like this unselfish? And he even says it about himself. I don't even look to score first to pass Jordan or pass Kobe, and I don't even score first. Man, this is an honor. Like, you almost down. Like, you shoot just as much as they did,
or
LeBron, or more.
But I don't think he just said. I think it's all set to build up his stats. Because a lot of times when you see LeBron in them games, and that's why his shooting percentage is how it is. He won't take the shot. Sometimes, as a Kobe, as a Jordan, when they went 9 for 26 one game or something like that, they were trying to win the game. They didn't just shut down and go 9 for 12. Now I'm at 40, 50-something%. Now I'm a pass here. We don't win the game. We're trying to. No, I got to win the game. Even if the shot clock running down, I got to shoot it. So my thing is the winning. When you say, okay, there hasn't been a player in the history of the sport that's had to do the plastic surgery per se to win and didn't win as much. So they're telling us we're looking at the greatest player, one of the greatest players that ever played, but he's had all the plastic surgery in the world to win, but he has one of the worst winning percentages getting through the finish line. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Iverson.
And speaking as a LeBron supporter, let him please.
It's hard to win a championship, right?
But not when like that Miami team. Now I know they were just talking, but they said not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. They went 2-2. They won 2 and lost 2. And Kevin Durant got talked bad about because he went out there and said we gonna win and won. But it was a stacked squad. It's a super team. That Miami team wasn't a super team. The intention was
to win 7.
To kill the league. Like, we came here to drag the league. We're gonna punish the league. We're gonna win 6 or 7. Now it didn't happen. But that's what he meant to do. So can't we judge you on your intentions rather than whether or not you pulled it off? Because you went 2-2, it's not a super team no more. Nah, you just didn't hold up your end of the bargain, LeBron. If you were who they say you were, there's no way Dallas would have beat y'all. There's no way San Antonio would have beat y'all.
Okay,
with an over-the-hill Tim Duncan.
You put Dr. J in your top 5, though.
Yes, sir, with 3 championships, 2 from the ABA, but I count those.
Oh, my God.
You don't count that?
Not over LeBron.
If you switch the eras and you let LeBron play with Doc, and Doc played from his prime to 88 years and everything, and in this era, LeBron's era, he would have did what LeBron done and more.
Okay, I'm gonna say somebody different. Forget LeBron.
Okay.
Doc ain't better than Bird.
I think he is.
Bird got 40 with all left hand shots.
There's a different skill set. But Jordan, Larry wasn't jumping out the gym either. That's a conversation, but I think Doc's better than Larry.
I like Larry a lot better than Doc, but Doc was his. If you're looking through, Doc got older, and we always, that first couple years in the league when Larry's younger years, Doc and him had some great wars. Then he got a little older. I'm just saying, use Doc, as he just said. Can you imagine Dr. J take Worthy off of that Lakers team, put Doctor over there with Magic, and all I got to do is run the lanes? And see, what I'm saying is, no other superstar, while we boosting LeBron to the top, has dressed themselves up with all the talent. Could you imagine Tracy McGrady coming to play with Kobe? See, those things were unfair. It was supposed to be unfair with LeBron and Dwayne Wade to play together. But I believe that, and it ain't nothing about LeBron. I don't believe LeBron plays to win.
So it's not the same that Jordan brung Rodman? Because he said, go get Rodman. I need somebody to get my rebounds. I lost Horace Grant. I need Rodman.
That's a totally different kind of player, though. To me, that's a totally
but that's
different
going to
kind
go
of player.
get somebody.
And you stay here. If you can't,
that was a superstar Hall of Famer that he went to go get. That wasn't no go get.
I don't know that he was no guaranteed Hall of Famer had he not got them 3 championships with Jordan. And he's a Hall of Famer after
he was
with them.
Didn't he have 3 at the Pistons? Two at the Pistons.
But one he didn't start. The other one he started. I see what he's saying on that piece. I'm just saying that Rodman came over there, and though that second 3, Pete by Jordan, was more talented with Kukoc, they had some action over there. But Michael Jordan let us know he had action.
Yeah.
He won 3. He won 3. He won 3.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Whereas, okay, and they do it. All you got to do is watch the LeBron fan. The LeBron fan is the one you don't want to subpoena because they tell on themselves all the time. There was a guy banging Chris Bosh. He's sorry. He sucked. Why is LeBron? Think about this. Now, you're going to think about this. All you got to do is get in one conversation tonight with any fan of LeBron. Why is LeBron the only superstar that they talk bad about his units? Greatness, a great father, a great brother. Greatness, you talk, it's
a great unselfish teammate. Yet his teammates get murdered.
Right.
Kevin Love turned to trash suddenly. Bosh suddenly can't play with him.
If somebody bring up Larry Bird right now, they're going to say, he had these Hall of Famers. They weren't Hall of Famers before Larry Bird. Magic Johnson, he had these Hall of Famers. Everybody else we talk about, Paul Gasol get talked about. Me and him go back and forth right now. Scottie Pippen has shoved himself up into the top 15. He don't do that. You see Dennis Rodman, you just brought him up. You see how they taste so good? When Kevin Love, the same knock on Draymond Green. I just said this the other day. The same knock on Draymond Green. This is what I made somebody eat their words. They say Draymond Green can't do what? What's the knock on Draymond Green? What did they say?
Score, shoot.
If he goes to another team,
he definitely ain't gonna get no championships.
He ain't gonna be Draymond Green, right?
I mean, he gonna be Draymond Green,
but he ain't really gonna win. It ain't gonna be the same.
It's not gonna be I don't think that it'd be a big impact on the team. So let's say if he went to
the Wizards, what's gonna happen to his career?
Because he's gonna call that a bottom.
No. What I'm saying is no. Even if he go to the Wizards, a lot of people just like this year, they don't think he's gonna have no good numbers, right?
No, his numbers gonna probably be the same because he's gonna be who he is. But it's not gonna make a difference on the team. It's not gonna win or lose it.
So what I'm saying is this: they don't think Draymond Green can go be an impact somewhere else. We know Kevin Love been somewhere else and made an impact, 26 and 13. So if Kevin Love at Minnesota and Draymond Green at Minnesota, who's the better player?
Kevin Love.
So LeBron, when he faced Golden State, he had Kevin Love. Before Golden State got together, Kevin Love had a better career at the time than Curry, Clay, and Draymond.
Number-wise? You talking about number-wise? Or
All NBA, everything.
Oh, you talking about
Kevin Love was a pioneer in the league. He was like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then when he got with LeBron, he went to equalize a role player, like just a role. No, if you got a guy, right? This is where the recruiting go, but it's about his numbers. You got a guy that can get 26 and 13 at Minnesota, right? That means he can do what? He can score. Mm-hmm. If you get with LeBron, the ultimate make you better. That's what they tell us.
My numbers go down?
Getting 26 should be easy.
So why didn't Kyrie's go down?
Why didn't Kyrie's go down?
One other person can eat with LeBron always. He need one other person to eat.
Okay.
No. Kyrie's
No, but I'm saying one other person's going to eat with LeBron. Wade ate with LeBron. Kyrie ate with LeBron. But two people can't eat with him.
Kyrie's numbers didn't go down necessarily, but they didn't go up. Kyrie with a LeBron should be giving you 29, 30 a game. With LeBron, Kyrie, with all that offense, 24, 22 ain't good enough for Kyrie.
Averaging, because I mean, in the big games, like in the final games, he had
40s. Yeah,
right.
You know, so
I felt like, in fairness, I did feel like one person can eat with LeBron. If he need a killer with him, but everybody else is going to suffer. That third man, that's still an all-star, is going to suffer. Their numbers are going to suffer.
On other championship teams, the third man suffered even on the Celtics. You don't think the third person suffered? Who would that be?
Who would be the third person on their squad?
That's what I'm gonna give it to you. Paul Pierce was the third person, and he got glamorized. When they got together, Ray Allen and Garnett.
Because he was the closer too, though. Because he happened to be the closer.
I thought Ray Allen moved to the third, and Garnett was one option. Pierce was two.
Well, Garnett was really the third. If you want to be fair about it, Garnett was the third option.
Garnett was the man.
But on defense, he focused more on D and rebounding. He was not offensive. He had shot the
his greatness. No, his greatness. Even the first year, he averaged more than them. His greatness allowed them other two to propel higher than him. That's what I'm saying. But he's the only player that you can take off of that team, and he starts on every team. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. He was the biggest star, but he allowed his greatness for the winning. Just because I'm the bigger star don't mean I got to shoot the most. Paul Pierce, do your thing. Ray Allen, do your thing. I would get mine regardless. Right. That's what I'm saying. But LeBron,
the biggest point, and then we wrap because this is the closer's getting long. But I gotta say this where I lost respect for LeBron personally. I felt like LeBron really had the potential to be Pippen 2.0 for real. I felt like he had more tools in his bag than almost anybody playing. His court vision is unbelievable. I felt like he was too selfish when he went with D-Wade. That first year when D-Wade was still prime, like young, like a killer still. I felt like LeBron should have fell back from the scoring because I didn't feel like D-Wade had as many other tools. So D-Wade had to take the step back. But D-Wade didn't have the other ways he could help the team while stepping back offensively. So now you just nullified his only main weapon when you're the one that can step back offensively scoring, but I can make it up in assists. I can make it up in rebounding. I can make it up in defense. I can make it up in so many other ways. I'll be the Pippen. I'll fall back a little offensively. You do the only thing you do great, which is score and defend, and we'll win 3, 4, 5 in a row. But he wasn't willing to sacrifice that scoring. So he made D-Wade step back. Well, you just neutralized your biggest help and y'all's chance at winning.
Right. My last question. Why is LeBron being compared to the GOAT?
Because, can I say why? Quickly. I'll quickly say it. Because it's been a self-fulfilling prophecy from day one. They handpicked LeBron. The chosen one while they were putting his high school games on TV. He's going to be the next great one. And they've made themselves right. The same media that chose him, ESPN, that makes money off of his face and image and off of him being you're now watching the greatest. I feel like he's a manufactured champion. I feel like they changed all the rules. We started counting finals appearances. We didn't care how many times anybody went to the finals, bro. Just did you win or lose? We now be like, man, he went 9 straight. Like, they changed all the rules.
Buffalo Bills don't get no love.
No.
but
you keep going and losing. So my opinion is the media chose him, and all the media is doing is saying, see, we were right. He is the greatest, and they've changed all the rules to make him right. And I believe he's one of the greatest players ever. He's just not nowhere near the greatest to me. What
I'm
answer his question?
a piggyback off and answer yours. If you haven't seen what's going on with basketball now, it's like he just said, this basketball's turned into like a reality TV show almost. And ESPN is as you see, ESPN is the ones to be putting the Kobe's in. ESPN's two darlings is Jordan and LeBron. The thing here is this, though. No, the thing here is this. Jordan made marketing become marketing with his game. So after Jordan blew the wave through, now they got to recreate another Jordan. But Jordan proved it. Oh, they said, look at what he's doing. Then they marketed Jordan. Over here, they trying to move pieces and move all the pieces on the playing board to market LeBron. Point. You see what I'm saying? I
like the way you put that.
So that's why they're putting, you know what I mean? His marketing, don't get me wrong, he done got some pushing and everything Jordan did from ESPN, but they don't have to lie to us to push Jordan. Right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, right. They needed Jordan to cross the finish line and win. Jordan had to cross the finish line and win with Magic and R&M, right? And Jordan did that. You see what I'm saying? Now I belong. Now the NBA can go ahead and just market him. He never let us down. You see what I'm saying? So like I try to tell people, when the Chicago Bulls, I'm going to make this short, when they played the Portland Trailblazers, Clyde Drexler was supposed to be his equal. Well, Jordan didn't give Clyde Drexler a chance to be brought up in the barbershop with his name. If you ask me, Portland had a better team roster. That's another thing that comes up now. Rosters. Portland had the better roster from 1 to 10. Than the
built
Bulls.
To win, like a basketball team, not an all-star team. Built with
to
strengths,
win. Stars,
with different strengths in different areas.
Kersey, Porter, man, they was loaded.
The kind of teams you seem like
you know what I'm
like
saying?
a real team, like not all-stars, but like I got some hard hat.
They were stars too. It was like the
those
Pistons.
Teams are the hardest to beat, bro.
They were like the Pistons. It was just that Clyde Drexler wasn't better than the Bulls' best player. That's where it comes down to. So Jordan outplayed, and he had to. If Clyde Drexler and Jordan equal each other, Portland wins the series. And that's not taking. Jordan and Pippen was better than Drexler, Porter, and them. See what I'm saying? They star player. When LeBron faced Durant, and this is how you know. This is the real thing right here. How you know that ESPN is about marketing. And Draymond Green touched on it, even though in his thing. Draymond Green said there wasn't no way in the world. Now, he mad at Durant now. They mad at Durant because Durant is almost real when he get to the mic. That's what a lot of people don't like. And what I mean by real is now, he tired of the nonsense. And the nonsense is, I went out there and I declothed this king of y'all's. It was because of me. You know what I'm saying? And not in the terms of everybody gonna say, well, he ain't have a good team. Bruh, if I got the superstar team, if we got an all-star game right now, right? Mm-hmm. And you got all the all-stars. You go look at the all-star scoring squad right now from this past year. You're going to see about 11 guys with double figures. 8, 9 guys with double figures, right? Mm-hmm. How do they got the super team and KG got to give you 35 a game? They was getting heavy. They got heavy, bro. They was getting heavy.
Game 3s was getting heavy. Game 3, they was gonna get us out of here if I didn't do something.
I mean, it might have got a little heavy, but when you got a superior talent like that, it would have been kind of.
So when you say that, I'm glad you hear in things from LeBron. When you say the superior talent, this is what I always ask people, and you get because remember you said remember you just said, but what about the 8 finals?
9.
No, okay. Is it not? Yeah. He's 3-6. He's 3-6. So the 9 finals. What year did he make it to the finals? And he didn't have a superior talent.
Probably his first finals.
About to say the Mavs, right? When he lost to the Mavs or lost to the Spurs.
You ain't think they just don't know?
You thought superior talent to the Dallas Mavericks?
No, I'm talking about when he went with Cleveland when he lost to the Spurs.
San Antonio, the very first one.
Yeah.
He didn't have a better squad than them.
Who?
Then San Antonio.
No.
The very first one.
Well, we know he lost.
The very first one.
But going there, maybe was the Pistons old? I'm talking about. You said getting to the finals. You were getting to the finals.
He did some amazing things.
Well, against who did you think had a chance? Who had just as much as talent? Every finals he won, he had the most talent. I mean, every
finals that he went to,
every series he won, you thought Paul George and him had a good team?
No. The Celtics, how
But
when he
he
got
never
with
beat
Wade,
them.
when he got with Wade,
He never beat.
He never beat the Celtics until
Not in
he went to
Cleveland?
Miami.
So who did he beat to go to the finals in Cleveland that first year?
I think the
Pistons.
the Pistons were the main.
Oh yeah, when he
When he went crazy.
when he scored the last 29 points.
yeah, that's when he thought I saw something. But what I'm saying is, and then they pieced together. See, with him, because he do numbers, what they do is what I told you earlier. They get all the talent guys and put on his team. So in the East, you say he good, right? But if I turn around and say, why can't Carmelo be on your top 5? When Carmelo was at the Knicks, who had more talent, Miami or Knicks?
Miami.
So why does LeBron get the benefit to say he better than Carmelo? Carmelo in the game with 30, 28. So how does he got more talent? But we ain't holding this talent. He's better than Carmelo. But now when Durant smacked my man around, it's because of his talent. But why ain't it because of the talent?
Fair.
How is LeBron better than Derrick Rose? Who had more talent when Chicago played?
They just don't hold LeBron to the same criteria that they hold everybody else
either.
to.
Cause let's switch LeBron and KD.
Switch them. Where to?
The team said let's switch LeBron and KD. Do KD beat Bron?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it, y'all.
Because everybody can still eat.
What you mean?
Because Kevin Love still gets his 26 and 13. He can.
We're going to see with this Nets team.
Stop. You see what you just did? Stop. You see what you just did?
What?
How you switched them? Now I got the easiest switch. Because he already won on this end. Switch LeBron and Dirk. Who win, Miami or Dallas?
Oh, Lord. It's a sweet.
That's what I'm saying.
That was when they ended that LeBron guard all 5 positions nonsense. He went nowhere. He said, listen, go get him, boss. He killing. Well, you need help over there? He like, I'm not going nowhere near Dirk. Did you see that? He said, I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke.
But check this
That's a
out.
7-footer.
Okay, well check this out.
They said he guards all 5.
So Pete
there's
game.
some 7
So
foot
Pete game.
5.
Take LeBron off that team. Put Durant on that Miami team. Dallas gonna win.
You can't get out the building with him. You can't.
See,
Not when when you turn, because Dirk turned it into a one-on-one game. That's KD's bag. That's Durant's bag is one-on-one. You want to battle Trey Buckets one-on-one?
I can't fight with y'all because y'all like gurus in basketball.
But just
didn't
come on, bro.
LeBron
You know
smash
you are.
Durant when he was at his own team, like when he was at the Thunder?
I'm glad you asked that because this is what I just said this in the barbershop the other day. They beat the Thunder. Durant, but see, listen. Watch the music, how y'all remix, and the Wiz come in, how y'all do this again. Last year, LeBron didn't make the playoffs, right?
Right.
Cause why?
Cause he went to the Lakers.
And he had talent, didn't he?
Young talent.
That's what you got him. So when Durant went to the finals, you know he was like the oldest guy on the team, and he was only this is his 4th year. Westbrook 3rd, Harden 2nd. That young team.
Damn, that's a lot of talent though.
But when you just said young,
You just said young.
Ingram give you 40.
But hold on.
Ingram give you
Listen,
40.
that's young talent,
They
right?
didn't make the playoffs.
They ain't make the playoffs because they're trash. Ingram ain't make the playoffs this year.
Ooh, no, because your man been out.
Is the New Orleans gonna make the
Yeah,
playoffs?
they was on their way.
That's like
New Orleans was
7th,
about to
8th.
7th, 8th.
Was they?
Yeah, they said they was talking about New Orleans was gonna grab it. They only like 2 games out of the 8th spot.
I didn't think they were saying Zion was gonna probably miss the playoffs.
No, they said because the dad said they better hope we don't go back because
They had played the Lakers.
yeah.
But they was 2 spots out of the 8th. They wasn't
Right.
they wasn't there yet.
They 2
Okay,
games
so it's
out
a
there.
possibility, but maybe not.
But Zion ain't been there all year.
No, he hasn't.
That's what I'm saying. But my point I'm making is they was a young, good team. LeBron is supposed to be the best. Y'all talk.
How old is LeBron?
And then he
KD?
makes
Are they-
everybody
Are
better.
they the same age or who's older?
Who's that?
KD and LeBron.
LeBron's
about 3 years older, right?
3 years, 4 years
So
older.
he's 3 years older. So the other 2 stars that was at the Thunder, that don't count for nothing. That this young dude just came smack 3 of you superstars.
What young
'Cause
dude?
They all
But-
3
But
No,
wait a
KD
minute,
was young.
why is he by himself smacking when he's playing with Wade and Bosh?
Yeah.
All in their prime.
That was a dream
All
team.
Olympians.
Oh.
He get credit for slamming by himself. Wade jumping, Bosh getting mixed. What did you do?
What did you
A
do?
team full of
But hold on.
seasoned
But hold
Olympians.
on. See, this is what you don't get from the KD guy or myself because we grew up on the winning narrative, right?
You had to
We
win.
never. LeBron won the series.
So we didn't complain.
You didn't hear everybody talking about KD the best
Average
in the league.
30,
even
still
though
average 30
he
in the
averaged 30 in the
series.
series.
He didn't come up
Purdy in the
short.
series?
I'll tell you who
more
did
time?
stink in the series. Though. And Harden. Two of your boys laid big eggs.
Harden did.
Harden
Westbrook
stank.
murdered. Harden stank.
Do I need to pull up your favorite Magic talking about the way Westbrook played?
What you talking about?
He said it's the worst point guard play I've
Man,
ever seen in my life.
Westbrook murdered. Man, you out your mind.
Keep talking. Talk to
Like I
DP.
was trying to tell you.
Talk to DP.
Like I said, back to what I was saying though.
Mm-hmm.
So they beat them. So you didn't hear a whole bunch of chatter of everybody saying Durant better than LeBron. That's cool. But now that I beat you 2 times in a row, why are we?
Why ain't his name never coming up as the greatest then?
Ooh,
'Cause it's
that's
all on his
ESPN. Because
spin.
he said ESPN grabbed the wrong guy. Can you
Right.
imagine if they grabbed Durant? They wouldn't even have to work so hard.
So the next person they grabbed, you don't think they picked that one good? Giannis ain't the next.
Curry was trying to be.
They tried, but he shoot too much.
Huh?
He shoot too many bad shots.
No, Curry's never gave us nothing in that moment. You see what I'm saying? Curry always come up short in that moment.
That was the worst point guard in a championship finals I've ever seen. You gotta come out and set the tone with Kevin Durant. See what type of defense Miami was going to play against him, JB. Then you can always get off, Russell. Russell Westbrook's got to set the tone with Kevin Durant.
You see that?
Tell him Magic. And tell Tony Rice don't ever contradict me again on this podcast.
Listen, look, Pete Gang though. You see what Magic did right there? Westbrook was in his 3rd year. Magic on the payroll too. They won't.
Oh,
say
come
that.
on.
No. I'm saying he got it
playing
right.
horrible,
No, I'm
Rice.
saying even if he said that about Westbrook, you ain't never heard him say that about LeBron or nobody. I respect Magic. I respect him going to get it, and he's saying that. The worst play. That's true. That's you. He's coming from a because his numbers. Westbrook's numbers was elite.
But Magic is saying you playing the point guard role, bro. You
See what I'm
getting
saying?
out of it.
And I feel him on that. But why don't they be real over there the same way? That's all I'm
You see,
saying.
Kendrick Perkins is on a
You
rampage
see what
for
I'm saying?
LeBron.
That's what I'm saying. The numbers.
Have you noticed that?
Everybody hit us with the
Kendrick
way.
Perkins is saying
When
something.
you watch
That's
this,
his
when you
bodyguard.
watch the series, when you kick back and you watch the Warriors and the Cavs, there's no way you can watch the game and say LeBron's better than Durant. There's no way.
We got to sign off. We better. This is
sir.
getting long. Listen, we're gonna continue this talk. You know we're gonna continue this after this ends. Don't you wish you were here with us? But listen, we out of here. We appreciate Damon Powell, DP, coming in and
being
joining
here.
us, man. He's been a wonderful guest, our first guest, actually, man, and certainly won't be the last time he's here. Please tell him where to find you at, sir, or what to look for.
You can find me on Facebook as Damon Powell. You can find me at Instagram as Beast Mode Training 2020. And you also can find me at Walnut Ridge High School.
Awesome. That sounds great. Now, listen, we've been getting you guys rosters or your teams that you've been submitting for our best team in history playoffs. So keep submitting those and keep your eye out. Next show, we'll certainly hit that hard and we'll announce the teams that have made the playoffs. So until then, man, y'all stay blessed. T. Rice, what you got to say to him, homie?
Until then, let's see. Great show.
Great show. We'll holler at y'all later on.
Right.
Thanks for listening.